Now, the greatest radio shows of all time.
Suspense.
The Shadow Node.
Washington calling David Harding, counter-spy.
Classic radio theater.
The Great Gildersleeve.
Fibber McGee and Molly.
Dragnet.
Gunsmoke.
The Lone Ranger.
Now, step back into a time machine with your host, Wyatt Cox.
Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum.
Well, an hour of comedy for you this time around with the Great Gildersleeve, the Harold Peary Show, the Halls of Ivy, the Adventures of Maisie starring Ann Sothern, and Fibber McGee and Molly. That's all straight ahead on this hour of the show. A little mention, if you don't mind, about my voice. I haven't recorded a show in 2 days. Now you're going, well, we heard a show yesterday. We record these shows. I try to record them at least a week in advance. And I had gotten a little bit ahead, but then I caught a bug. And they thought it was the C word. Fortunately, I don't think it is. But it's affected my voice, and it bogs down a bit. So we're going to do what we can to make sure we get this hour of the show brought to you. And by the way, tomorrow, a great Thanksgiving show. Good news of 1940, the Aldrich family, also The Couple Next Door, a special from KPO out in Hawaii called Thank You America, and a program called The Mutual's Answer Man. So that'll all be coming up tomorrow. But today, it is a Wednesday, and you know what that means. This is the 22nd day of November, 326th day of the year, 39 days remaining. In 1943, President Roosevelt, British Prime Minister Winston Churchill, and Chinese leader Chiang Kai-shek met in Cairo to discuss ways to defeat Japan. On this date in 1963,
we interrupt this program to bring you a special bulletin from ABC Radio. Here is a special bulletin from Dallas, Texas. 3 shots were fired at President Kennedy's motorcade today in downtown Dallas, Texas. This is ABC Radio. Let me repeat the substance of the bulletin. President Kennedy and Texas Governor John Connally shot from ambush while the president's motorcade traveled through Dallas, Texas just a little while ago. At the present moment, both men are in the operating rooms at Parkland Memorial Hospital in Dallas, Texas. Both are reported still alive, but in very serious condition.
The first bulletin from ABC News about what would be the end of an era.
Here, the president was headed for another speech, and the motorcade was moving along on this freeway, going under a ramp of another freeway when the attack took place.
Here is some information on a speech which he apparently had just made before being shot. President Kennedy lashed out today at those he said who confuse rhetoric with reality. Speaking in an area where supporters are booming Senator Barry Goldwater's chances for the 1964 Republican nomination, Kennedy said that ignorance and misinformation, if allowed to prevail in foreign policy, handicaps this country's security.
NBC News.
NBC's Chet Huntley and Bill Ryan. Everybody was operating in a mode which they never had. NBC was in a bare studio, basically not even at desks, but it looks like planks on top of sawhorses. ABC built their studio while they were on the air to do live broadcasts from their newsroom. They had another news studio, but they had it was not able to. They were not able to use that and to move stuff for a breaking story situation. This was an era of no instant video or live feeds from the scene. Here's NBC's Robert McNeil feeding a report over the phone from Parkland Hospital, relayed by NBC's Frank McGee.
We have NBC's Bob McNeil on the line now with the report. Please go ahead, Bob. White House Press Secretary Malcolm Kilduff has just announced that President Kennedy died at approximately 1 o'clock Central Standard Time, which is about 35 minutes ago.
After being shot
by
an unknown assailant
during
a motorcade drive through downtown Dallas. The president died.
The president died
Approximately 25 minutes.
approximately 25 minutes
After the attack took place.
after the attack took place.
He had been rushed, bleeding and unconscious,
He had been rushed, bleeding and unconscious,
to the Parkland Memorial Hospital in Dallas
to the Parkland Memorial Hospital in Dallas
and was given blood transfusions.
and was given blood transfusions.
About 15 minutes ago,
About 15 minutes ago, reports NBC's Bob McNeil from Dallas, to whom I'm talking now.
a priest emerged
A priest emerged
after having given the president
after having given the president
the last rites.
the last rites.
Facilities as little as a year later were significantly upgraded so that sort of thing could be reported instantaneously, although you still did not have the technology to do things. The videos are amazing of the coverage when you realize that they had never covered a death in this fashion before. So the coverage was great for what it was. President Kennedy assassinated, Texas Governor John Connally seriously wounded. Later the same day, Vice President Lyndon Johnson sworn in as the 36th President of the United States. Here is a dictaphone recording from Air Force One of the swearing in of the new President Lyndon Johnson.
I swear that I will faithfully execute the office of President of the United States and will to the best of my ability preserve, protect, defend the Constitution of the United States and
Thus the end of the Kennedy era and the beginning of the LBJ era. It's instructive to hear the kind of administration that they had just come out of, and the very warmth and charm that I guess was proclaimed by many to be the Kennedy wit. Here's an excerpt of President Kennedy's last speech that took place in Fort Worth.
2 years ago, I introduced myself in Paris by saying that I was the man who had accompanied Mrs. Kennedy to Paris. I'm getting that same sensation as I travel around Texas. Nobody wonders what Lyndon and I wear, but
That same charm and wit would come about in an administration 20 years later when motion picture actor and former California Governor Ronald Reagan would become president of the U.S. All right, on this date in 1968, Beatles released the double album The Beatles, commonly known as the White Album. 1974, the UN General Assembly granted the Palestinian Liberation Organization observer status. 1995, Juan Carlos declared King of Spain following the death of Francisco Franco. In 1977, British Airways inaugurated a regular London to New York City supersonic Concorde service. 1986, Mike Tyson knocked out Trevor Berbick in the second round, becoming the youngest world heavyweight champion at the age of 20 years and 4 months. 1990, Wade Gretzky inducted into the Hockey Hall of Fame, his number permanently retired by the NHL. The Heritage Classic, first outdoor hockey game in the history of the NHL, played in Edmonton, Alberta on this date in 2003. In 2005, Ted Koppel retired after hosting Nightline for over 26 years. Also in 2005, the Microsoft video game console Xbox 360 went on sale. 2002, a shooting at a Walmart in Chesapeake, Virginia, left 7 workers dead, including the shooter, and 4 others injured. Those passing away on this date in history included the pirate Blackbeard, actor Shemp Howard, best known for his time with the Three Stooges, Aldous Huxley, a wonderful author. We've aired his Brave New World here several times. Also, Mae West passing away on this date. Actor Scatman Crothers, Sterling Holloway, businesswoman Mary Kay Ash, and Radio Gunsmoke Chester. Parley Bear, passing away on this date in 2002.
Hi, this is Jeff Foxworthy. It is now time for the birthday announcements. The following people are now officially older than dirt.
And those who have left us include French President Charles de Gaulle, composer Hoagy Carmichael, pilot Wiley Post, British composer Benjamin Britten, comedian Rodney Dangerfield, who does get respect from me, actress Geraldine Page, and actor Robert Vaughn. From Monty Python's Flying Circus, Terry Gilliam is 83 today. Tennis star Billie Jean King, 80 years old. Actress Jamie Lee Curtis, the Scream Queen herself, 65. Actress Mariel Hemingway is 62. Bruce Banner in the recent Marvel movies, Mark Ruffalo, is 56. Actress Scarlett Johansson is 39. From Shadowhunters and Arrow, Catherine McNamara is 28, and Justin Bieber's wife, Stephen Baldwin's daughter Haley, 27 years old today. Those are just a few of the people celebrating the 22nd day of November as their birthday, if this is your birthday.
Hi, we're the Four Freshmen, and we just want to say, Happy birthday to you!
By the way, I will post in a separate podcast more material on the passing of President Kennedy. Right now, we're going to start off with some humorous stuff for this 22nd day of November. Go back 81 years, November 22nd, 1942, Harold Peary and the Great Gildersleeve. This is Classic Radio Theater with a croaky Wyatt Cox.
Friends, this is Bob Hope. If an atom bomb were to hit your home city, would you know what to do? Remember, one explosion of an atom bomb could kill 75,000 and maim 100,000. This is only one kind of a disaster which could strike. In addition to many forms of enemy action, there are the dangers of fire, flood, earthquake, and traffic. Knowing what to do before, during, and after a disaster can improve your chances of survival. There is something you can do and do now. You can learn a pattern of survival. Your local Office of Civil Defense is ready to help. Persuade your club, your church, your friends, and your neighbors to help to learn to live. Remember, this is the atomic age. No one can escape its hazards, but everyone can prepare. Listen carefully. What you are about to hear can save your life. Do you know the siren signal in case of atomic attack? Do you know how to find shelter? Do you know how to give first aid? Do you know what will be done for your safety? For further details, consult your local Office of Civil Defense.
By the way, I've mentioned Sean bought some copies at our classicradio.stream website, and I mentioned that earlier. And I want to thank Robert also for buying me a copy. But, you know, we talked about how healthy cigarettes used to be. I've never smoked. My parents were chain smokers, and, of course, they have been gone since the 80s. I have never smoked. I only suffered from secondhand smoke, but this has nothing to do with that. So we're pretty well safe. Now, let's get started here. Because Thanksgiving is tomorrow, we have some Thanksgiving shows. Starting off with Harold Peary and the Great Gildersleeve from 81 years ago, November 22nd, 1942. It's Thanksgiving dinner in the Gildersleeve house. But Gildy is trying to do some finagling because, you know, this is the first Thanksgiving of wartime. And so he's trying to get his rations upped.
Kraft presents The Great Gildersleeve.
Yeah.
The Kraft Cheese Company, who also bring you Bing Crosby every Thursday night, present each week at this time Harold Peary as The Great Gildersleeve, written by John Whedon. We'll hear from the Great Gildersleeve in just a moment. You know, these days it's pretty difficult to get the variety of foods you used to get. That's why you should make the plentiful foods you can get as appetizing as possible. Now, one easy, economical way to make foods taste better is to use delicious Parquet margarine at the table and for cooking, too. First of all, of course, Parquet margarine is a perfectly delicious spread for bread or toast or rolls. And next, Parquet margarine is a tasty seasoning for potatoes and all hot vegetables. Parquet margarine makes cookies and pastries taste better, too, because it's a real flavor shortening, not bland and tasteless as some shortenings are. And lastly, you'll find Parquet adds tempting extra flavor to pan-fried foods. Yes, you can make everyday foods taste better when you use Parquet. Remember, too, it's a nourishing energy food that contains vitamin A. So ask your dealer tomorrow for wholesome, economical Parkay, P-A-R-K-A-Y, Parkay margarine made by Kraft. Well, let's get on to the Great Gildersleeve, who's been putting in a busy Saturday morning down at the water department trying to clear his desk of all the odds and ends that have piled up there. As we join him now, we find him almost down to the blotter and feeling pretty good about it.
Action, yes, action. That's the keynote today, Miss Fitz.
And you have accomplished a great deal this morning, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Yes, sir. Never put off till tomorrow what you can do today.
I try not to.
Procrastination is the thief of time.
There's a letter here.
Time and tide wait for no man.
This woman wrote in 2 weeks ago.
For want of a nail, the shoe was lost, Miss Fitch. Action, that's the thing, action.
Mr. Gildersleeve, are you going to answer this woman's letter?
What does she want?
Action.
Sure. Well, let's see the letter.
She says she wrote in 2 weeks ago and never got an answer.
Oh, yes, I remember this. Take an answer.
Very well.
Dear Madam, in reply to your recent letter regarding a Neil in your bathtub, we wish to thank you for calling this to our attention. After a thorough investigation of the matter, we wish to report that it would have been impossible for the said eel to have gained access to your tub through the faucet. As all our water is carefully filtered, and furthermore, standard plumbing fixtures are too small to accommodate an eel of the dimensions you describe. We can only suggest that the creature either crawled up the drain, in which event your attorney should get in touch with the Department of Public Works, not us. Or possibly it was placed in your tub by an enemy. While it's out of our department, we'd suggest that a stopper kept in the tub at all times should prove an effective precaution against eels in the future. Failing which, we'd advise a closer check on your friends. Very truly yours, Throckmorton P. Gildersleeve, Water Commissioner. You got that?
Yes, Mr. Gildersleeve.
That ought to hold her. What's next?
Well, I don't know whether you want to do anything about this.
Let's have it. Action, Miss Fitch. Let's clear the decks here.
Very well.
This is no time for bottlenecks.
No.
You'll notice that in every photograph of Donald Nelson, there's not a single paper on Donald Nelson's desk. That's the only way to be an executive. Do it now. Strike while the iron is hot. Come. What have you got there?
A 6-month reminder from your dentist.
Well, suppose you put that in the deferred file.
That's where it came from.
You're a hard woman, Miss Fitch. All right, call up the dentist and make an appointment for Monday.
Good.
For Leroy. Come on, let's get on here. Time's a-wasting. Have you got the application for my bee gas ration?
Yes, it's right here.
Oh, I must remember to get that in this afternoon.
It's all filled out. All you have to do is sign it.
I better check it over. Let's see here. It says, occupational use of the vehicle. If vehicle is used for driving between home and fixed place of work, in the principal occupation as stated in items 4 and 6 above, answer all questions in Part A below. If vehicle is used in the performance of the principal occupation stated in items 4 and 6 above, oh, brother, I'll take your word for it, Miss Fitch.
You also have to get the signatures of any person sharing the ride with you.
Oh, well, Judge Hooker's my share of the rider, but he isn't speaking to me. He can darn well sign, though.
I understand very few people are going to get the bee rations.
Oh, I'll get one all right. After all, I'm a city official. I have to do a lot of official driving. I'm entitled to one if anybody is.
Yes, but have you heard who's head of the ration board now?
It doesn't make any difference. Who?
Judge Hooker.
Judge Hooker. Oh, my goodness. Hooker will find some technicality. He'll block it if he has to stage a filibuster. Maybe I better invite the old goat to Thanksgiving dinner after all.
That might soften him up a little.
Yes, certainly. He couldn't accept a man's hospitality and then trick him out of his bee card, could he?
I don't recall that the application form covers that.
No, I didn't think so. Quiet. Here comes the old sourball now. Well, hello there, Judge.
When does the bus leave, Gildersleeve?
The bus leaves whenever you're ready, Judgy.
I'm ready now.
Be right with you. Can't keep a customer waiting, can we, Miss Fitch? I'll get my hat and coat.
Mr. Gildersleeve, you're not forgetting...
Oh, yes. Thank you. While you're waiting, Judge, Miss Fitch has an application blank there that requires your signature. A mere formality, you know.
What's this?
Just to show that I'm sharing my car with you.
Oh, so you're applying for a bee ration book, huh?
Aren't we all? Give the judge a pen, Miss Fitch. Here, use mine. It's a self-filler. I think you'll like it. There, that's it.
There you are.
Thank you, Judge. Well, see you Monday, Miss Fitch. Oh, by the way, Horace, I meant to ask you before. I hope you'll give us the pleasure of dining with us as usual on Thursday.
I thought you'd forgotten all about Thanksgiving.
Not at all. Thanksgiving wouldn't be Thanksgiving without you, Horace. You know that.
Leroy, now while I fit this. I feel like a sissy in this fool outfit. This is the kind of clothes the Pilgrims wore. And they were no sissies. Yeah, but they didn't have to wear them in front of a whole auditorium full of people. Stand still, will you, before I jab you with this pin. Courtship of Miles Standish. Why don't you speak for yourself, John? Yeah. Oh! Told you you'd get stuck. You know, I think you're going to look real cute when I get this down. That's just what I'm afraid of. That's what the whole school is going to think. Leroy, will you stand still? It wouldn't have been so bad if I was Miles Standish. I'd get to wear a helmet. But John Alden, that panty waist. I'm lucky the teacher didn't make me play Priscilla. I don't see why you feel that way. John Alden is a hero. Remember, it's John Alden who gets the girl. Yeah, Ethel Hammerschlag can have her. Hello, Uncle Mort.
Well, hello, Marjorie. And Leroy.
Hello.
Well, look at our little pilgrim.
Hey, Marge, can't I take this off now? No, wait till I get it pinned.
You know your lines yet, young man?
Some of them.
Well, it's about time. You've been rehearsing that part for a month.
I've been trying to get out of it for a month.
That's no attitude to take. The Courtship of Miles Standish is great literature. I studied it in school myself. I remember it to this very day. This is the forest primeval, the murmuring pines in the heavens.
That's Evangeline, Uncle Mort.
Well, that's good, too. Let's hear you recite that speech you were having trouble with last night, Leroy.
No, I don't want to.
Come on now, I want to see if you've learned it.
Oh, some other time, Unc.
No, right now. I'd like to hear it. We both would. Wouldn't we, Marjorie?
We'd love to. No, I won't do it. Not if she's going to listen.
Young man, you'll recite that speech or you'll go right upstairs to your room.
Okay.
We're waiting.
Let's see. Prithee, Mistress Priscilla, turn not a deaf ear to the suit of one who, though absent
Yet loves thee with a noble and undying passion. Go back and try it again.
Do I have to?
Yes. If you don't keep at it, you'll never learn the part.
If I don't learn the part, maybe we won't have to do it.
You'll do it or I'll know the reason why. Come on now, once more.
Prithee, Mistress Priscilla. Prithee, Mistress... I can't say it.
You're not trying. Prithee, Mistress Priscilla. Now you got me doing it. Oh, Bertie, I want to talk to you. Leroy, you go up to your room and practice.
Darn old Miles Standish anyway.
Quiet, you. Bertie, I've invited Judge Hooker to Thanksgiving dinner, so that'll mean one more.
That'll mean 5 more.
What?
Yes, I hope you don't mind, Uncle Mort. I invited 4 of the boys from Camp Fuller.
Oh, well, fine. The more the merrier. Thanksgiving isn't Thanksgiving unless there are plenty around to enjoy the turkey.
Speaking of turkey, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Yes, Bertie?
You wouldn't want to buy a chance on one, would you? I don't suppose.
What do you mean, Bertie?
Well, the ladies at my church is holding a turkey raffle.
Again? All right, I'll buy a chance. How much are they?
25 cents. That's for one.
One chance. There you are. There's a quarter.
Thank you. Most everybody around here has bought one from me. All the neighbors.
Well, you're doing fine.
Of course. If you used to buy 2 chances, it stands to reason you'd have twice as good a chance as they have.
Yeah. No getting around that, Bertie. All right, I'll take 2.
Mr. Gildersleeve, you're making no mistake. Turkey's awful expensive this year.
Yes, I know, Bertie.
48 cents a pound at day one grocery.
Oh, brother.
Yeah. So if even you used to buy 3 chances, you'd still be ahead.
Sold, Bertie. Make it 3.
Yes, sir. Let's see now. How many is it going to be for dinner?
Well, there's Marjorie and Leroy and Judge Hooker and Mrs. Ransom and the 4 soldiers. And you, Bertie. That makes 9.
And you, that makes 12.
Oh, yes, me.
That's going to take a big turkey.
Well, maybe we should order one right away and ask him to hold it for us.
Well, let's wait and see how this raffle comes out first, Marjorie. We don't want to be stuck with 2 turkeys, you know.
Of course, they've sold quite a lot of chances on it, and you've only got 3.
Bertie, if you can guarantee I'll get the turkey, I'll take 5 chances.
Well, I can't promise nothing, but my cousin's doing the drawing.
I'll take 5.
Well, that'll be $1.25.
That's right. Well, here's another $1.
That's quite a lot of money.
Yes, it is.
$1.25 will buy a lot of things.
Don't I know it?
You wouldn't like to take a couple more chances just to protect your investment.
You get out of here, Bertie, before you ruin me. I got to get down to the ration board. Oh, brother, look at that crowd. Pardon me, could somebody tell me whether this is where you get B ration books?
No, this is where you don't get them.
Yeah, wise guy. Madam, would you mind?
You can't shove in here.
I'm not trying to shove in.
End of the line.
End of the line. I've been waiting here since 2 o'clock, and you come trying to shove in.
Yeah.
Madam, I was merely trying to ask a civil question.
End of the line, Bud.
Just a minute. Who do you think you're pushing?
Well, who do you think you're pushing?
Well, who do you think you're pushing? Why, George, if you weren't wearing glasses...
Well, I'll take them off. There.
You look worse. Put them back on.
What's the fuss here? What's the fuss?
He tried to shove in ahead of me.
I did not.
He did, too, and he squeezed my hand.
Oh! Now, look here, my good woman.
We'll have to ask for order here, my friend. Why don't you just take your place in the line?
I'm trying to find out whether this is the right line. I've come for my B ration book.
Oh, you've come for it, huh?
Yes. I have my application right here.
You and 100 million others.
What? Young man, evidently you don't know who I am. I happen to be Throckmorton P. Gildersleeve, and I have to do a lot of driving.
Where to?
Well, out to the reservoir.
To the reservoir? What for?
See if there's anything in it.
Yeah? Listen, brother, if we gave a ration book to everybody who wants to drive out to the reservoir for a little necking in the moonlight...
I don't do any necking in the moonlight.
Oh, you like it in the dark?
Yeah, no! And I didn't come here to be insulted by underlings.
End of the line, Bud.
Yes, end of the line.
Oh, shut up! Oh, Judge, I want you to tell this young whippersnapper here where he gets off.
Well, now, Gildy.
He has the nerve to tell me I'm not entitled to a B ration book.
Well, he may be right, Gildy. You're only sharing the ride with one person.
You can't throw those technicalities at me, Hooker. You're the share, my rider. You signed this application yourself.
I know that, Gildy. As a share of the rider, I'd be delighted to see you get your ration book. But as a ration official, I couldn't possibly pass this application. My conscience wouldn't allow it.
All right, Judge. As a ration official, you needn't bother to come to Thanksgiving dinner. And as a share of the rider, from now on, you can walk.
End of the line.
Oh, you can have your old line.
The Great Gildersleeve will be with us again in just a few seconds. If you're troubled with a food budget that's hard to keep in line these days, just remember this. There are any number of wholesome, good-tasting, nutritious foods that can help you keep your food budget down. Now, one such food, surely, is Parquet Margarine, Kraft's delicious spread for bread, because it's good-tasting, economical, and nutritious. Parquet Margarine's flavor is something pretty special. Thousands know it as the margarine that tastes so deliciously good. And just as important, Parquet Margarine is an economical source of food elements that your family needs. Yes, wholesome, nourishing Parquet Margarine is one of the best energy foods you can serve. And year-round, every pound of Parquet contains 9,000 units of important vitamin A. Yes, it's wise to economize with Parquet Margarine. It's delicious, nutritious, and thrifty. So buy Parquet Margarine tomorrow. Just ask your food dealer for Parquet, P-A-R-K-A-Y. Parquet, the margarine that's made by Kraft. Now back to Summerfield to the Great Gildersleeve. Apparently he'll get no more gas than the rest of us, but what about turkey? It's Tuesday afternoon now, only 2 days before Thanksgiving. We find our hero checking last-minute details with Marjorie.
What about those 4 soldiers, my dear? Are you sure they're coming?
Oh, yes. I had a note this morning from their commanding officer. They'll arrive at 12 o'clock sharp in a jeep.
A jeep? Mm-hmm. Oh, brother, what an appetite they'll have. I'll have to run around the house a couple of times to get myself up to concert pitch. Can't let the boys show me up at my own table.
I don't think you need to worry about that, Uncle Mort.
Oh, yeah. Well, I guess we're all set. Soldiers accepted. Hooker canceled. Mrs. Ransom's coming, isn't she?
Well, you invited her, didn't you?
No, I thought you'd take care of that. You're the lady of the house.
Oh, but I thought you'd want to. Oh, dear. And I went over there this morning to borrow a roasting pan for the turkey and never said a word about it. What must she think?
Oh, this is terrible. This is awful. I'll run over there right now. Sir was right. She's made other plans. A fine thing. Borrow a woman's roaster and then not invite her to dinner. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Leela, I've come to explain.
I don't know what there is to explain, I'm sure.
May I come in?
Well, I'm rather busy.
Just for a moment.
Well,
Leela, of course you're coming to Thanksgiving dinner Thursday.
well, I'm hardly in the habit of going to places to which I've not been invited, Mr. Gildersleeve.
But you are invited. You've been invited all along. There was a mix-up, that's all. I thought Marjorie had asked you, and Marjorie thought I had.
How do I know? How do I know you're not just inviting me for my roasting pan?
Leela, when I thought of inviting you, nothing was further from my mind than a roasting pan.
Oh, you say those things, but you don't mean them.
It's the truth. You were the first one on my list, Leela.
Was I, Throckmorton? Sure enough.
Yeah, sure enough.
Oh, but I'm afraid I couldn't accept at this late date. You see, I've had all these other invitations.
Oh.
If I turn them down now, I know they'd be heartbroken, much as I'd like to have dinner with you.
We're having a 20-pound turkey.
Well, I love turkey, but I'm afraid I can't.
I'll save you the white meat.
No, don't tempt me now.
I'll save you the wishbone. We can make a wish on it.
What would you wish, Throckmorton?
I'm not supposed to tell you.
Well, I don't know that I could trust you with a wishbone. And anyway, I've promised these other people.
But you've got to come, Leela. Marjorie and Leroy will be terribly disappointed if you don't. So will I. So will Bertie. So will the Army.
The Army?
Yes, we're having 4 young lieutenants to dinner, too.
Throckmorton, why in the world didn't you say so?
You mean you'll come?
Will I?
You're too good to me, Leela.
What did she say, Uncle Mort?
She's coming with bells on.
I wouldn't put it past her.
Huh?
Uncle Mort, can I borrow your shotgun?
No, Leroy, certainly not. Why?
I'm supposed to bring a gun to school tomorrow.
What kind of a school are they running? A reform school?
No, Miles Standish has got to have a blunderbuss.
A blunderbuss.
Here's your pilgrim suit, Leroy. I pressed the collar, so don't mess it up.
Oh, put it on, Leroy, and show Uncle Mort how nice it looks, not finished.
Oh, no. Go ahead. You look real nice in it.
I look like a sissy in it. You look better than you do in that Mickey Mouse sweatshirt you wear all the time.
Yeah, and cleaner, too. Put on the pilgrim suit, Leroy.
Oh,
Your sister worked hard on it. It won't do you any harm to put it on once. Go ahead.
Okay. I'd like to meet that guy Longfellow.
Yeah. Well, Bertie, you think we're going to have enough turkey for all these people Thursday?
I don't know, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Let's see now. We've got 4 soldiers, and the 4 of us here, and Mrs. Ransom.
What about Judge Hooker?
Judge Hooker is an ungrateful old goat. Never mention his name in this house.
Excuse me. I didn't know it was like that again.
There'll be 8 of us at dinner. And you know the way soldiers eat. You think we ought to figure on 2 turkeys?
I don't know, Mr. Gildersleeve. I don't know what we ought to do.
What's the matter, Bertie? You seem to be sort of dragging today.
I don't know. I don't guess I feel so good.
Out a little late last night?
No, sir. No later than usual. I just got a feeling, that's all.
Yeah, what kind of a feeling?
Like things wasn't going to work out somehow.
Oh, well, don't let it get you down. By the way, when are they going to raffle off that turkey I bought all those chances on?
Yes, we can't wait much longer to find out about that. Thanksgiving's only 2 days off.
I was thinking, Mr. Gildersleeve, how would it be if we had a nice ham instead of a turkey?
Bertie, are you hiding something from us?
No, sir, I ain't hiding nothing. Except they had that raffle last night.
Oh.
You came close, Mr. Gildersleeve. You came mighty close. The winning number was 61, and you had 62.
Eesh. But it still leaves us without a turkey.
Well, sort of.
Oh, well, if you gamble, you have to expect those things.
We better order a turkey right away, though.
Yes, we can't invite all those soldiers to come 20 miles for Thanksgiving dinner and have no Thanksgiving dinner.
Well, I'll go call up the market and reserve one.
That's just the trouble.
What do you mean?
I called up the market, and all the turkeys is reserved.
You mean they won't sell us one?
Butcher says there ain't a turkey left in Summerfield. I don't know what's the matter. Last week, no pot roast. This week, no turkey.
We've got to have a turkey. We've invited all these soldiers. We've invited Mrs. Ransom. We've got to find one.
But where?
Don't ask me.
All right, Unc. How do you like it?
Like what?
The pilgrim suit.
Oh, forget the pilgrim suit. We just lost our turkey.
No turkey? No turkey. How do you like that? Well, it looks like we'll all wind up eating turkey sandwiches at the drugstore.
Yeah.
Some Thanksgiving.
The drugstore. Maybe Peavy's got a turkey. Hold everything, kids. I'll be right back. I'm going to the drugstore.
Hello, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Peavy. Peavy, you've got to help me out.
Well, I'm always glad to do customer service.
Good. Have you got a turkey?
What was that again?
Have you got a turkey?
A turkey? Well, now, I've had people come in here and ask for some strange things, but this is the first time I've ever had a request for a turkey.
But never mind that. Have you got one?
No, Mr. Gildersleeve. Turkeys are one thing that I don't carry. I'm sorry. Have you tried the meat market?
Of course I've tried the meat market. Why do you think I came in here?
I wondered.
Now, just a minute, Peavy. You serve turkey sandwiches at your soda fountain, don't you?
Yes, we do serve a turkey sandwich.
You can't make a turkey sandwich without a turkey, can you?
Well, now, I wouldn't say that.
In other words, Peavy, your turkey sandwich is not a turkey sandwich.
Well, turkey sandwich has become a sort of a trade expression, although we serve it with genuine cranberry jelly on the side.
But suppose you don't care for cranberry jelly.
And then you just ask for the regular chicken sandwich.
Yes, Peavy, I'm surprised at you. I don't know how you can sleep nights.
Well, I did used to have a little trouble, but I just take a cup of hot cocoa before going to bed now, and I find that sets me right. So does Mrs. Peavy.
Well, this isn't finding a turkey. I got to get going. Goodbye.
Goodbye, Mr. Gildersleeve. Have a nice Thanksgiving.
Same to you. Don't drink too much cocoa, and don't let Mrs. Peavy.
Any luck, Uncle Mort?
Not a bit, my dear. I've been everywhere. It's no use. The Army's picked the place clean. There's not a single turkey left.
Maybe I should warn those boys at camp. They'll do better if they stay there.
Yes. Wait. There's just one chance left.
What's that?
If we can find out who won the turkey in Bertie's raffle, we might be able to buy it from him. Yes, Bertie!
Yes, Mr. Gildersleeve?
Would you mind coming in here?
Yes, sir?
Bertie, do you know who won that turkey in your raffle?
No, sir.
Do you think you could find out?
Well, sir, I might be able to, and then again I might not.
What do you mean by that?
Well, if I was to find out who won, you might not like it.
Come clean, Bertie. What bush are you beating about now? You know who won the turkey?
Yes.
Well, why didn't you say so? Who is it?
Well, you said never to mention Judge Hooker's name.
Oh!
I told you wasn't going to like it.
Well, there goes our only chance.
Uncle Mort, don't you think Judge Hooker would be willing to let you have it?
After what I told him down at the ration board? No, my dear, I really gave him a piece of my mind there.
But if you took it all back and invited him to dinner again?
When he's got the turkey, he'd just laugh at me. Wait a minute. Bertie?
Yeah?
Does Judge Hooker know yet that he's won the turkey?
No, sir. I'm supposed to deliver it to him this evening.
Excuse me, folks. I got to see a judge about a bird. Horace, I've come to ask your forgiveness.
You come to the wrong place, Gildersleeve.
That's a cruel attitude, Judge, but I don't blame you for taking it.
You behave like a boor, Gildersleeve.
You're right, a big boor. In front of a whole lot of people, too.
Yeah.
I could kick myself when I think of it.
Well, we all fly off the handle sometimes.
There was no excuse for it. Doing a thing like that to my old friend.
Well, guilty of...
Horace, you may think me a sentimental old fool, but we've been pals for a good many years now, haven't we? Off and on.
Yes, Gildy, we have. Off and on.
And we've always had Thanksgiving dinner together, haven't we?
Yeah, I guess that's right.
Well, I want you to have it with us again this year.
You really mean that?
Horace, I've said it before, and I mean it now more than ever. If you don't come to Thanksgiving dinner, it just won't be Thanksgiving dinner.
Well, then, I'll certainly be delighted to come.
Good. Don't forget now.
I won't.
We'll be counting on you.
I'll be there. What time would you like to have me come?
Oh, come early, Judge. Come about 9 o'clock in the morning.
9 o'clock?
Yeah. And when you come, would you mind bringing that turkey you won in the raffle, Judge?
Gildy, I've got to be going. But it's been a mighty pleasant day.
Oh, stick around, Judge. The evening's young yet.
No, I've got to get an early start in the morning. But I don't know when I've had a finer Thanksgiving.
Well, it was your turkey, Judge.
Yeah, I share my turkey, you share your car. That's the spirit today.
Yeah, and the good spirit, too. It brings people together, Judge.
Yes, it does, Gildy. I'm sorry we had that misunderstanding down at the ration board. As a matter of fact, you're probably entitled to a B ration. You use your car for official business.
Well, I don't want a B book.
What?
No, I've been thinking about it, Horace. It seems to me the spirit of rationing is to get along with as little as you can, instead of grabbing all you can get.
You're absolutely right, Gildy. And I'm glad to hear you say it. You're a credit to the community.
Well, thank you, Horace. And you may rest assured that even though I've only a humble A ration, my car will still be at your service at all times.
You mean that, Gildy?
I do indeed.
That's fine. I've got to meet a train at Moore's Junction at 6 o'clock tomorrow morning. Good night, Gildy.
Good night, everybody.
Original music heard on this program was composed and conducted by Billy Mills. This is Ken Carpenter speaking for the Kraft Cheese Company and inviting you to tune in again next week for the further adventures of the Great Gildersleeve.
Ladies, when you want to make good macaroni and cheese, get a package of Kraft Dinner. This wonderful product is really an answer to a housewife's prayer for an easy and quick-to-make main dish. It takes only 7 minutes cooking time to fix delicious macaroni and cheese with Kraft Dinner. Put the macaroni that's in the package into boiling water and cook rapidly for 7 minutes. In just that short time, you have fluffy, tender macaroni all ready for the cheese goodness. So you take the package of Kraft Grated, which comes with Kraft Dinner, and sprinkle it on the macaroni, stirring the delicious cheese flavor through and through. That's all there is to it. Your macaroni and cheese is ready to be served. And once you've prepared it this way, you'll never want to go back to the old-fashioned way of baking it. Not when Kraft Dinner gives you such tempting macaroni and cheese in just 7 minutes. Why not try it tomorrow? Just ask your dealer for a package of Kraft Dinner. It's so convenient, so economical, and so good. This program reached you from Hollywood. This is the National Broadcasting Company.
Rationing and the shortages would lead to a reduction of the items that Kraft would sell, and they would, of course, explain to people why they didn't have materials. But we would hear more about that as the show went on. From the first Thanksgiving of wartime, November 22nd, 1942, 81 years ago, the Great Gildersleeve. We're going to move up 8 years to when Harold Peary was no longer the Great Gildersleeve, but Honest Harold. I'll talk a little about that if my voice holds out here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox.
I'm Raymond Massey, and I have a special message for senior citizens. Today's doctors, drugs, and medical devices truly work medical miracles for young and old alike. But there are some as phony as a $3 bill. Like this Zeret applicator, for example, which is claimed to cure arthritis with Z-rays. There are no Z-rays. This fake device claimed to cure cancer with tape-recorded music. The practitioner who used it was as big a phony as his device. A doorbell doctor sold this food supplement to treat 42 diseases. It has nothing of value that's not contained in the food you buy at your supermarket. Investigate before you invest in health services or products. Help stamp out quackery.
This has been a public service announcement from the Food and Drug Administration in cooperation with this station.
Food supplements are important, but the claims you've got to watch out for. Many of them are not what they used to be. So just be careful, won't you please? I'm Wyatt Cox. This is Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Okay, the big talent raids over at CBS, with television coming, they were trying to pull as many successful radio shows over there so that they could take that intellectual property and use it in television. And that's why Jack Benny moved from NBC to CBS. That's why Amos and Andy moved from NBC to CBS. And that's why Harold Peary left the Great Gildersleeve, because they thought if they brought Harold Peary over, Kraft would come with it. Well, unfortunately, Kraft decided to stay with NBC. And that's why they cast Willard Waterman as the Great Gildersleeve, replacing Harold Peary. So they had Harold Peary under contract with no sponsored show like they thought they were getting. But they still gave Harold Peary a show, which lasted one season, the Harold Peary Show, a radio show about a radio show, Honest Harold the Homemaker. And we'll hear an episode of that show, which actually is about a Thanksgiving play that was broadcast 73 years ago, November 22nd, 1950.
The Harold Peary Show. And now, Harold Peary as Honest Harold the Homemaker. Well, the talk of Melrose Springs this week is the big Thanksgiving play, The Courtship of Miles Standish, which is to be given at the local high school. The director and star of this epic drama is none other than the Orson Welles of Melrose Springs, Honest Harold. Well, right now we find our impresario at home having a costume fitting for his role of John Alden.
Almost through, Mother.
Just a minute, Harold. You know, I think these old blue serge trousers are going to make fine knee breeches.
Oh, I guess so. A little tight, but I'll take it easy when I bow.
Hold still now. I'll just pin these pants up. Put a pin in front.
Yeah?
And a pin in back.
Watch it, Mother.
I just know the play will be wonderful with my son directing it and starring in it.
Thank you, Mother. I also rewrote it a little, too.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. My boss, Stanley Peabody, is playing Miles Standish. I cut his part way down.
Harold.
Yeah, and I built up my part of John Alden a little bit. You know, Theodora, the new dancing teacher, is playing Priscilla.
Oh, yes. She's very pretty.
She sure is. I wrote some additional dialogue for my scene with her.
Additional dialogue?
Yeah, I put in a few kisses. Well, better get dressed and get right down to Theodora's Dancing Academy. There's a rehearsal call for our love scene this morning.
There is?
Yeah, I just called it. Yeah. I'll see you later, Mother. Theodora. Gosh, I'm glad she came into my life. Rehearsing with her is going to be lots of fun. I'll make this one of those real kisses. The kind would cost you $2 in a taxi cab. Yoo-hoo, Theodora.
Oh, hello, Angel Cake.
Hello.
How's little old Curly Lashes today?
Curly Lashes?
It was nice of you to come and see your little Theodora.
Well, of course, this is strictly business, Theodora. I came over to rehearse the play. So let's get down to kissing. Business.
All righty.
Of course, I made a few little changes in our scene. The way I got it now, Priscilla and John Alden are sitting on the sofa.
Sofa?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Oh, clever, clever boy.
I thought so. Well, shall we sit down?
All righty.
And, oh, yes, I made one other little change. John Alden kisses Priscilla.
He kisses her?
Uh-huh.
Harold, isn't that going a little far for a pilgrim?
Well, haven't you ever heard of the Pilgrim's Progress? Yes, sir. We'll start the scene with my speech. Priscilla, I, John Alden, speak not for myself, but for my good friend, Captain Miles Standish.
Why don't you speak for yourself, John?
Me?
You're so handsome.
Well.
The most charming man I've ever seen.
Sounds good. Ooh, I wrote that.
You're so masterful. John.
Here it comes.
Why don't you kiss me?
All right. Pucker up, Priscilla.
Oh, there's someone at the door.
Oh, my goodness.
Come in.
Oh, here you are. Howdy, folks.
Pete, the town marshal.
Hope I ain't interrupting anything.
What do you want, Pete?
Well, I wanted to talk to you, boy.
You two big men go right ahead and talk. I'll be in the reception room.
Yeah. All right, Pete. What is it?
You were getting pretty cozy there, weren't you, boy? Priscilla and John Alden smooching on the sofa. That's a doozy.
Now, Pete, what do you want to see me about?
Well, Harold, I'm having trouble with my part in the play. I keep forgetting all that stuff you told me to do.
Oh, for heaven's sake.
Maybe if I put it down in my notebook, I could keep it straight.
Well, all right, but hurry it up.
Now, let's see now. I come in and I say, I am a trapper lost in the wood. I wonder where I am at.
Don't just stand there, Pete. Look around.
Look around? Yeah, let me write that down.
Go on, Pete.
Oh, my. What is that behind the tree?
That's where you take 4 steps.
After I take 4 steps. Let me write that down.
Hurry up, Pete. Now, that's when you see the bear behind the tree.
The bear?
Yeah, remember? Doc Yancey is a bear.
Doc Yancey is a bear. Let me write that down. Now, what comes next, Harold?
That's where the bear growls.
Grrr. How do you spell grrr?
Come on. Pete, will you get on with the scene?
Oh, my. Here comes the bear. Grrr. What'd you say, Harold?
That was me, growling.
Oh. Got stomach trouble, boy?
Pete, you're a dope. Why don't you write that down?
You're a dope. Sure, Harold, I can remember that. I'll see you later.
Theodora.
Yes, Harold, coming.
Sorry we were interrupted. Shall we rehearse the scene now?
All righty.
Mm-hmm.
John.
Yes, Priscilla.
Why don't you kiss me?
All right. Ye gods, who's that?
Oh, come in.
Oh, hello, Miss Theodora.
Hello, Dr. Yancey.
Hello, Harold.
Hello, Doc. What do you want, you old horse doctor?
Harold, I've been working on my part of the bear all morning, and I've got some wonderful ideas how to play it.
Well, Doc, all you have to do is growl.
Oh, I know, but there's different ways to growl, Harold.
What?
Now, this is an angry bear.
Yeah.
Now, don't let it frighten you, Miss Theodora. I'm just acting.
Come on, Doc.
All right, now here goes.
Oh, that was wonderful, Dr. Yancey.
Thank you. I could also make him a friendly bear like this. Then there's the melancholy bear whose mate run away and left him. He's real sad, you know. He's,
No wonder she left him.
And Harold, I had another idea.
What is it?
Well, suppose at the end of the scene, I get up on my hind legs and recite a poem.
A poem?
Yeah. It's a very dramatic poem called The Coward.
Yep.
It goes like this.
Some other time, Doc.
Jake Simpson was a coward, afraid of people half his size. If a gun went off, he'd run a mile. He was even afraid of flies.
Doc.
But cowards sometimes make heroes. When the town was struck by flood, the women deserted their children, and the husbands ran off in the mud.
Doc.
When the others had fled from the flood, from their wives and their little ones slid, did Jake leave his wife and his family? You bet your life he did.
Doc, that's horrible.
It is? Oh, well, all right, Harold. If you don't appreciate art, it's all right with me. Goodbye, Miss Theodora.
Goodbye, Doctor.
Goodbye, Doctor.
I'll practice some more.
Well, Theodora, let's...
Hello!
Now, who is that? Oh, my goodness, the Firehouse 4.
Well, hello, folks.
Hello, T.
I brought the boys over, Harold. Thought we might run over our number.
Not now, boys.
What are you cute fire laddies going to do in the show?
Well, ma'am, we come out dressed as Indians and sing shortening bread.
But that's not an Indian song.
That's the only one they know. It took them 5 years to learn that.
But, Harold, we fixed the number so we'll sound like Indians.
What?
You ready, fellas?
Mammy's little baby loves shortening. Mammy's little baby loves shortening bread. Ugh.
4 Nelson Eddies.
Mammy's little baby loves shortening bread. Ugh.
Indians, I mean
Put
fellas.
on the skillet. Woo! Put on the lid. Woo!
Boys!
He's gonna make a little shortening bread. Ugh.
Ooh, yourself. I'm getting out of here. What a morning. Oog. Oh, well. The show isn't on till tomorrow night. Still a lot of time to rehearse with Theodora. Yeah. Yeah, and I have to laugh when I think of Stanley Peabody playing Miles Standish. He may be my boss at the radio station, but...
Hemp.
Oh, my goodness, speak of Peabody, and there he is.
Hemp, I want to talk to you.
Hello, Stanley. Well, Miles Standish, have you learned your part for the play?
What part?
Huh?
When you first gave me the role, I had 12 pages of dialogue. Now I can put my part on a postage stamp.
And, brother, are you stuck with it?
I am unhappy with my part. Do you hear me?
Hear you? You almost blew me across the street, Stanley.
I notice you gave yourself the best role in the play. John Alden.
John Alden? No, that isn't much of a part. Miles Standish is really the star.
Star? Huh. For 4 acts, all I do is fight Indians off stage.
Well, you win, don't you?
And you have all the love scenes with the girl.
Love scene? Well, what do they mean, Stanley? Nothing. Anybody can do that. But Miles Standish is the role of a lifetime. An actor's dream. And because you're my old friend, Stanley, I gave the part to you.
Hemp, I'm touched. You're a real friend. But I can't let you make this sacrifice. We'll change parts, Hemp.
Huh?
I want you to be the star. And remember, you work for me, Hemp. Now, you're Miles Standish, that's an order. And I'll play the part of John Alden with all those silly little love scenes. But I know we'll both be very happy with our new parts. Won't we, Miles?
Speak for yourself, John.
We will return for the second act of our story, Honest Harold, in just a moment. Just a little later this evening on CBS, screen star Paul Douglas will visit Bing Crosby, and the two of them will be reminiscing about the good old days. We hope you'll stay with us and be listening when Paul Douglas comes to call on Crosby later this evening.
I will.
The Bing Crosby Show is heard every Wednesday evening on most of these same CBS stations. And now, back to Honest Harold, the homemaker. Well, it is the night before the Thanksgiving play, The Courtship of Miles Standish. But Honest Harold hasn't much to be thankful for. He wound up with the part of Miles Standish, and his boss, Stanley Peabody, is going to do all the courting. Well, right now, we find our disappointed lover at home, just finishing dinner before going to dress rehearsal.
Oh, no, Harold. You mustn't feel bad just because you're not going to play John Alden.
Well...
And you look so distinguished in your Miles Standish costume. Oh, I can just see you standing there, stroking your beard.
Yeah, and while I'm stroking my beard, Stanley will be kissing Theodora.
But that's just in the play. They'll only be acting.
I don't know, Mother. Sometimes these acting romances get out of hand. Look at Errol Flynn.
Harold, I'm sure Theodora prefers you to Stanley.
I don't know, Mother. After all, he's a lot flashier than I am. He's the Chrysler type. What am I? Just a 36 Essex with a bent bumper.
Why don't you call Theodora right now and ask the driver to rehearsal?
Well...
I'm sure she'd be delighted.
Yeah, maybe you're right, Mother. No harm in trying. Sure. Just because Theodora and Stanley are lovers in the play, that doesn't mean anything.
Hello?
Hello, Theodora. This is Harold.
Oh, hello, Angel Cake.
Yeah. Angel Cake, that's sweet. I was just wondering if I could drive you to the rehearsal at the high school tonight.
Oh, you're a darling to ask me.
Oh?
But I can't go with you.
Oh.
I'm going with Cutie Pie Peabody.
Cutie Pie Peabody?
Yes, in his little old Nile Green town and country.
Yep.
I hope you don't mind.
Mind? No, of course not. After all, what am I? Just a 36 Essex.
What?
Don't worry about me. I'll see you at the rehearsal, Miss Theodora. I've lost my Theodora. Here I am with a broken heart and a bent bumper. Everybody, quiet! Will you please drop that hammer up on stage? Oop, a little close, too. Thank you. Now, this is the final dress rehearsal of our play, so let's get down to business, folks. First, we'll see if everybody is here. Gloria? Giggling Gloria. Pete?
Here, boy.
Doc Yancey? Firehouse 4. Indians!
Oh, Indians. Okay, fellas.
Yep.
Mammy's little baby loves shortening, shortening. Mammy's little baby loves shortening bread.
That will do. Priscilla and John Alden. Theodora and Stanley. Those are out joyriding in Stanley's town and country. Well, who cares? We'll start without them. On stage, everybody. Where's my megaphone? All right, Raymond. Overture.
Okay, cuz. Take it, men.
Sounds pretty good. That'll set the mood. Yeah, sure. Oh! Heaven's sake! Raymond! Raymond! Cut that out! Stop it!
What's the matter, cuz?
For your information, Raymond, the Pilgrims did not go in for Dixieland.
Oh.
And take that derby off that cornet. We got enough funny hats in this show now.
Okay.
Now we'll take the prologue. Pilgrim Maid, Gloria.
Oh, me?
Yeah, yes, you.
Gee, I don't know if I can do this.
Come on, Minnie, ha-ha.
All right. I am just a pilgrim maid.
That's right.
Who came from across the sea.
Good.
Across the sea. Across the sea.
You've crossed the sea 3 times. Now go on, Gloria.
Oh, and when we landed on the shore, we saw the...
Indians! Indians!
Indians? Okay, fellas.
What?
Mammy's little baby loves shortening, shortening.
Oh, quiet!
And when we landed on the shore...
Never mind, Gloria. You'll never make it. We'll take it later.
Stanley.
Uh-oh, Theodora and Stanley.
You say the cutest thing, Stanley Wanley.
Stanley Wanley.
Oh, hello, Ham.
Hello. I hope it wasn't too much trouble for you to attend our rehearsal, Mayor.
Why, Haroldy, Waroldy, I believe you're jealous.
Jealous? I am not. That's ridiculous. Just thinking about the show, that's all. On stage, everybody, immediately.
All right, Harold.
Come on, Theo.
Theo, eh? Certainly getting familiar.
We're ready, Hamp.
We're ready, Hamp.
All right, Miss Theodora. Stanley, we'll take your scene from the very beginning.
Oh, we know the beginning. Why don't we start where we sit on the sofa?
On the sofa?
Yes. You know, the part you rewrote.
I hate him.
Priscilla, I have come to speak for my friends.
Why don't you speak for yourself, John?
Me?
John, you're so handsome.
Handsome. I've seen better-looking skeletons than him.
You're so strong, so masterful.
Sneaky imitator.
John, my darling.
I can't stand this.
John, why don't you kiss me?
All right.
Cut!
I insist on finishing this scene.
Yeah, but I have to rehearse my part, Stanley. Miles Standish.
Your part?
Yes.
All you do is stand off stage and fight Indians.
Indians? Okay, fellas.
Quiet, you fools! Keep it up, fellas. I'll sing it with you. Mammy's a baby loves shortening, Mammy's a baby loves shortening bread. Ugh! Show's getting off to a good start. Overture's going fine. I'll just take another peek through this hole in the curtain now. Well, a lot of people out there. Well, Captain Miles Standish, the show must go on. Wait a minute, let's finish the overture. This is it. Pull up the curtain. Gloria, where are you?
Here I am.
Oh, well, go out on the stage. You're the prologue.
I feel so silly.
Stop that giggling, Gloria, and get out there.
All right.
Hope she doesn't fall in the footlights. Or do I?
I'm a little pilgrim maid. Oh, hello, Raymond.
Hello, Gloria. Gloria?
Oh, Harold.
Please, God, she's got the giggles again. Curtain! Quartet's on next. Where are those Indians? Hey, Firehouse 4.
We're right here, Harold.
Oop. Don't sneak up on me with those moccasins on. Now, don't forget, boys, you back me up on my solo first, then you do shorten bread.
Okay.
Curtain. Come on, boys. Follow me. Thank you. Thank you. Glad you recognized me with this beard. I love you as I never loved before. Since first I met you on the village green. Come to me, or my dream of love is o'er. I love you as I loved you when you were sweet, when you were sweet, 16. I love you as I never loved before. Since first I met you on the village green. The village green. Come to me, or my dream of love is o'er. I love you as I love you when you were sweet.
Hey, what's that? Well, that's the fire bell, boys.
Oh, my goodness, what a time for a fire to break out.
Must be a short circuit at the beauty shop again. Follow me, men.
Boys, Indians!
Hey, we'll break down the doors with our tomahawks.
Fellas! Curtain. All right, next scene, quick. The trapper and the bear. Places? Ready?
Yeah, I'm ready, boy.
How about you, Doc? Okay, curtain. Okay, Pete.
I am a trapper lost in the woods. I wonder where I am at. This is where I look around.
Well, brother, he's doing the stage direction, too.
Oh, my. What is that behind the tree? Take 4 steps. What was that? A bear. A bear.
Go on, Doc. Go on, Doc. Growl.
Huh? Oh, it's me. Harold, I forget what I'm supposed to say next.
Get off the stage.
Get off the stage. I can't think of a thing. Ain't I the dodo?
Get off of there before you get the bird. Ye gods, will somebody say something?
All right, Harold, I'll save the day.
What?
Jake Simpson was a coward.
Oop.
Afraid of people half his size. If a gun went off, he'd run a mile.
Curtain!
Afraid to
Oh, brother, what a night. Thank goodness it's almost over. Now I've got to watch that courtship scene with Stanley and Theodora that I wrote. Look at her out there at the spinning wheel. Gosh, she looks pretty. How could she be so fickle?
Out of my way. Out of my way, Hemp. I've got to make my entrance.
Hello, Stanley.
Well, Captain Miles Standish, I'm going in and kiss your girl now.
Hope he gets a run in his stocking.
Oh, that must be John Alden now. Come in, John.
Coming, Priscilla.
John!
Priscilla, I must talk to you. Come, sit on the sofa.
Lounge lizard.
All righty. John, you are so handsome in your pilgrim suit.
Handsome. Looks like an ad for Quaker Oats.
You are so strong.
Here comes the kissing scene. I'll close my eyes.
So masterful.
Well, yes, I am. But I, John Alden, speak not for myself, but for my good friend Captain Miles Standish, who waits without.
You said it.
Captain Standish is more handsome, strong, and masterful than I.
He is? Then why don't you send him in?
Yeah, what?
Come in, Milesy Wilesy.
What's she doing? Say, that's me. Hey, coming, Priscilla.
Theodora, Priscilla.
Kiss me, Miles Standish.
You said it. Step aside, John, old boy.
Just a minute, Hemp. Miles Standish never got the girl. You don't know your Longfellow.
Well, you don't know this short fellow. Pucker up, Priscilla. You go out and fight Indians, John.
Man's little baby, let's go.
Must have been a false alarm. Thank you. Now I'd kind of like to take off my Miles Standish whiskers and be just plain Harold Peary for a moment and introduce to you a very charming lady, the winner of our National Laugh Contest, who came all the way from station WNOX and Knoxville, Tennessee, to be officially crowned Miss Mirthquake of 1950, Mrs. Lena Duncan. Wonderful, but Mrs. Duncan, that was kind of a puny laugh. I don't think the folks in Knoxville heard that. Well, I bet they heard that without benefit of radios. Been having a good time here in Hollywood.
I've had a wonderful time.
That's wonderful. And Mrs. Duncan, it made me very happy that you were our winner.
Thank you, Mr. Perry. It made me happy, too.
Oh? Well, I hope you're still happy because we've led our honored guest a merry chase from the moment she stepped off that TWA plane.
Yes, sir. She spent a week at the Hollywood Country Club Hotel. We showed her off at MGM Studios, took her to glamorous serials. She met Amos and Andy Evard and Jack Benny, was on television with our Mr. Jack Meakin, did a broadcast with George Fisher, went to Cyrano de Bergerac premiere and had breakfast with Jimmy Starr this morning, even paid the check. I'm just thinking about it, folks. Life in Knoxville is going to seem just a little humdrum after a week in Hollywood, isn't it?
It'll be good to get home.
It will. Your husband and son, eh? Well, I know that all the folks in Knoxville are mighty proud of you, Mrs. Duncan, and so are we. So at this time, I'd like to officially dub you Miss Mirthquake of 1950 and present you with your scepter. In behalf of our cast, Gloria Holliday, Joe Kearns, Jane Morgan, Parley Bear, Olin Soleil, Maury Alden, Eddie Firestone, Harry Stanton, and the Fireboys, our writers, Gene Stone and Jack Robinson, our director, Norman McDonald, Jack Meakin, our musical director, Dave Light on sound, Joe Swagger, our engineer, Bob Lamond, our announcer. I'd like to thank everybody connected with the promotion of the Laugh Contest. You were wonderful, and wish you all a happy Thanksgiving. Good night, folks.
You have been listening to the Harold Peary Show, Honest Harold. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Bye, folks.
A much more slapstick show than The Great Gildersleeve. It only lasted one season because CBS couldn't sell it. Harold Peary and The Harold Peary Show from 73 years ago, November 22nd, 1950, here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. We'll head to Ivy and see what's going on in Ivy College with the Halls of Ivy, starring Ronald and Benita Coleman and their guest, Jack Benny. But first...
You know, I just heard a young woman saying...
Oh, life is dull. I wish this war were over.
Well, now look, why not stop wishing and do something about it?
What do you mean, do something?
Join the Women's Army Corps. They need you.
The wax? Oh, what do I know
Now,
about...
wait a minute. Now, look. You don't have to know any special job. The wax train you. You're over 19, aren't you?
I'm 25.
Well, the age limit's 20 to 50. And the wax can give you a job that's as important as any man's in the Army. And you'll be freeing a man to fight. You might be an Air Force photographer or a medical technician.
Could I do that?
Well, sure. Now, listen. You'll learn a lot that'll be useful after the war. You've a chance to become an officer. Everyone has. You'll get good pay. Your uniforms are free. And you'll be working alongside our fighting men, helping them win this war.
Gosh, that sounds pretty good.
And it's important. All you women between 20 and 50, the Army needs you. Speed the attack. Join the wax.
And you're listening to Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. The voice is holding up. We have a Armed Forces recording of the Halls of Ivy now. This was originally broadcast 73 years ago, November 22nd, 1950, with their special guest, Jack Benny.
In just a moment, you will hear Jack Benny as the guest of Mr. and Mrs. Ronald Coleman on the Halls of Ivy. Welcome again to Ivy College, that is, in the town of Ivy, USA. For the past few days, Dr. William Todhunter Hall, president of Ivy College, has been almost completely unaware of the undercover campus activities of his wife, Victoria, former star of the English stage. In fact, he betrays his unawareness by asking at the breakfast table,
Vicky, my darling, I've been so busy lately, I've hardly seen you. What have you been doing that's interesting?
Oh, the usual things, Torry. I chairman the book club Monday, met with the faculty women Wednesday, gave the student mothers group a short lecture on diaper folding on Thursday, met with
Excuse me, but where did you learn diaper folding?
in the theatre in England.
Really? Of course, I know naturally that no course in dramatics is complete without the eternal triangle, but my mental picture of that geometric figure seems to have been badly painted. To me, you were always the glamorous beauty, waited on hand and foot by adoring lackeys, champagne at elbow, and sobbing violins behind the potted plant.
Well, I've seen my share of potted lackeys in my day, but this was before I rated a star on my dressing room door, when I was the Cromwell kid, the one with the rather good legs in the second row.
What else have you been doing?
Well, for one thing, I've signed Jack Benny for the annual charity benefit show.
That's nice. What else?
What do you mean, what else? Well, didn't you hear what I just said?
Of course I heard you, my sweet. You signed somebody for the annual Ivy benefit show.
Well, it is not just somebody, Toddy. Jack Benny.
Oh, how did you manage to persuade this John Benny to help out?
It's not John, Toddy. It's Jack.
Oh. You know, the instant intimacy established between two members of the theatrical world is a beautiful thing. 3 minutes after meeting for the first time, you find them locked in a fervent embrace, calling each other darling, swearing never to part again, and as they leave each other, murmuring, he looks a lot thinner in pictures. I wonder if he wears a girdle.
If you know so much about it, dear, you must know who Jack Benny is.
Oh, the name's familiar to me, of course. Jack Benny, yes, he's in radio, isn't he?
Mr. Benny is radio.
That's rather an all-encompassing statement, my dear, it seems to me. How about Carlton Bourne and Meet the Funny People?
See, that's two shows, darling. People are funny and Meet the People. Toddy, you don't seem to realize what a wonderful thing it's going to be to have Jack Benny here, right here on the campus. It's the greatest drawing card we ever had.
Someone at the door, Vicky.
Yeah, well, all right, darling, I'll get it. You finish your breath.
Bells, doorbells, telephone bells, classroom bells.
I'd like you to meet Mr. Morton, Milton Morton, Mr. Benny's advance man.
Oh, yes. How do you do, Mr. Morton?
Hiya, Dr. Hall. Thought as long as I was fixing up this guest shot for Jack, I might as well meet the big wheel. Probably won't have to bother you with details. I think I got everything nailed down okay.
Nailed down?
You know, he just means he's got everything under control, dear. The publicity, billboards, concessions, parking facilities, you know.
Incidentally, is there a hunk of high brass around here named Willman or Woolman or something? A Clarence Woolman?
Clarence Wellman?
Oh, yeah, that's him, Clarence Wellman. What goes with him anyway?
Oh, hypertension. And an interesting assortment of anxiety neuroses to give you a clinical answer, Mr. Morton. Why do you ask?
Well, he's been chasing me around all day yesterday and this morning on the telephone. He's up on his big fat ear about something, and, well, I've been ducking him till I could finish my job. Who did you say he was?
Mr. Wellman is the chairman of the Board of Governors of Ivy College.
Oh, fine. Got to be such a pest yesterday that I had been leaving messages all around town telling him to go fry a pig. What is this typhoid Mary's particular grief? Does he hate actors?
No. To be perfectly fair to Mr. Wellman, he has nothing but the best interests of this college at heart.
Yeah, then why
However, his methods are somewhat lacking in grace. Apparently, he has a heart of gold and an abiding fear that someone will report his possession of it to the government. How about a little coffee, Mr. Morton?
No, thanks. I had my breakfast earlier. 2 Boilermakers and a pound of Benzedrine. No, I just wanted to check in, Doctor, and tell you how we appreciate Mrs. Hall.
Oh, nonsense.
I don't think it's nonsense, Victoria. Merely to know you is to appreciate you.
Thank you.
Well, thank you for coming by, Mr. Morton, and I'm sure Mr. Bunny's appearance will be most successful.
It's Benny, dear, not Bunny.
Oh, well, wasn't there a John Bunny? Stout chap. Played opposite a woman named Flora Finch, I believe. When I was a boy...
No, that was another fella, Doctor. No, this is Jack Benny. Rhymes with penny if he can arrange it. And believe me, he can. That's an inside joke, I tell you. Mrs. Hall, thanks for your help, and take my word for it, you were a help. No, never underrate her, Doc. This kid's really hep. Well, it's nice to have met you both.
Goodbye.
Well, it's nice to know I am married to a charming, beautiful woman who is also a kid that is hep. I suppose from Mr. Morton's tone of voice that this is the show business equivalent of the Nobel Prize.
Well, yes, it was intended to be complimentary, at least. Yeah, I'm going over to the auditorium, Toddy.
Wait a minute, darling. I'll go to the door.
Dr. Hall!
Oh, please come in. Mr. Wellman.
I did not come over here to bandy words, Dr. Hall. I came because of a situation which this campus, which affects seriously the dignity and the... What I mean is when Ivy College must stoop to acquire the services of a radio buffoon to bolster some charity affair, it's a pretty how do you do, Mrs. Hall?
Well, how do you do, Mr. Wellman?
I assume you are speaking of the guest appearance here of Mr. Jack Benny.
I certainly am. It's bad enough that we should seek the assistance of this performer, and worse, that the wife of our president should not only have instigated this affair...
Mr. Wellman.
What is it?
Specifically, what is your complaint?
Do you object to Mr. Benny as a performer, Mr. Wellman?
Definitely not, Mrs. Hall. As radio comedians go, he is probably very good. In fact, he is good. I have heard him several times myself. He has even made me laugh. Out loud.
No.
Yes. What?
Nothing.
Oh. Do you realize what this man and his accomplices have done, Dr. Hall?
No, but anyone who can make you laugh out loud, Mr. Wellman, must have powers denied to ordinary mortals. But what has this genius done now?
It is disgraceful. As you must know, there are certain coincidental sources of revenue which accompany many public and semi-public functions here at Ivy. Extra chair rentals, parking concessions, refreshments, programs. These are things which have traditionally been the rights and prerogatives of local people.
But exactly what...
Do you know who has by some sort of conniving made arrangements to handle all these concessions himself?
You don't mean...
Jack Benny! He signed up every possible means of revenue. He will sell the programs. He will rent the extra chairs. He will sell the hot dogs. The beer and the popcorn. He will park the cars, and for 29 cents, he will wash the car.
Have you spoken to Mr. Morton about it?
I can't catch up with the man. I've telephoned him all day yesterday and all morning this morning, and when I finally did get word from him, I was told to go fry a pig.
Mr. Wellman, was there anything illegal or unethical in the manner in which these concessions were acquired by Mr. Benny?
Well, no, but it has always been, traditionally, they have always been, local businessmen have always assumed that, they have always taken it for granted that...
What group of local businessmen, Mr. Wellman?
Well, I wouldn't exactly say it was a group, but the fact remains that...
You mean that one local man has always had these concessions?
Yes, but...
Anyone we know, Mr. Wellman?
Yes, that is...
Would the money from these concessions have been turned over to the charity, Mr. Wellman?
The group concerned has always given very generously.
Well, I will not pursue the question. I believe in the principle of give and let give. Good night, Mr. Wellman.
Wait, I'll get it. Dr. Hall's residence. Oh, yes, Mr. Morton. Indeed you may. We'll be delighted. Yes. Yes, goodbye. Jack Benny is on his way over.
He is? Well, now, do I need any particular coaching or information to talk to a radio comedian?
Darling, you don't need any coaching to talk to anybody.
Oh, I'm not too sure, my sweet. In any business or profession, there are certain subjects to be avoided.
Yeah, well, don't worry about Mr. Benny. There's nothing... Oh, yes. Yes, there is one thing.
What's that?
Well, he made one rather unfortunate motion picture. We better not refer to it.
Oh, no. No, of course we hadn't. Cinematic skeleton in the professional closet. What picture was it?
dear, I can't remember the name of it. It was, Someone Blew Something at Midnight.
Well, it would be safest, I suppose, not to talk about motion pictures at all. Fortunately, I am not particularly loquacious on the subject. Billy Dove, I think, was my last really emotional...
Oh, dear. You let him in, Toddy. I'll run upstairs and lift my fixed dip. Imagine me being so nervous.
Well, I guess it's up to me. I can't think of a single joke. Oh, well, one shouldn't tell jokes to a comedian anyway. He couldn't afford to admit he hasn't heard it before.
Oh, Dr. Hall, I'm Jack Benny.
Ah, yes, Mr. Benny, we were expecting you. Please come in.
Thank you.
May I take your hat? And your violin case?
Thank you. Thank you very much, Doctor.
I'll put your hat here on the table, and the violin case in the corner. Valuable instrument, is it?
Strad.
Really? A Stradivarius?
Well, no, just a Strad. A friend of mine makes them, Herman Stradnik. That is, he used to make them before his accident.
Accident? Oh, nothing serious?
No, just a few bruises on the throat. He tried to sell one to Heifetz. You've heard of them, Jackie's, Heifetz. Is Mrs. Hall here, Doctor?
Oh, yes, she'll be down in just a minute. Sit down, won't you? Can I get you something to drink?
Why, yes. If you have some, I'd like a glass of beer.
Fine. I'll get it for you.
Gee, the Halls have a nice home here. Hey, this must be his diploma on the wall. Let's see what it says. Semperis Universitum. Know all ye men that William Todd Hunter Hall has this day been made a Bachelor of Arts. Bachelor? Then what is she? Oh, I guess he got that diploma while he was single. That reminds me of the one I have hanging on my back porch. Sic tempus a victim haec et valorem. Not responsible for laundry left over 30 days. See, look at all the books the professor has here. Look at the titles. Origin of Species by Charles Darwin. Einstein's Field of Nuclear Fission. The Decline and Fall of the Roman Empire by Gibbon. The G-String Murder Mystery by Dixie Rose Lee. See, the professor sure has good taste in books. I ought to know. I read them all except the G-String Murder Mystery. Be happy-go-lucky.
We'll be down in just a minute.
Oh, fine. Nice place you have here, Doctor.
Yes, thank you. It's very comfortable, but I imagine it looks rather insignificant compared to Radio City.
Oh, I don't live in Radio City, Dr. Hall. Oh, no, you see, I live in California.
Oh, do you really? Well, I've many friends out there. Dr. Lyon and I carried on one chess game for 18 months over the long-distance phone.
You did? Long distance?
Oh, yes, indeed. It's quite a usual custom among college professors.
18 months?
Of course, in this case, it was exceptional. We were very evenly matched.
Oh. Is Dr. Lyon a banker?
Oh, no. He's president of Pomona College.
Oh. 18 months. Long distance. Huh? See, 3 times 4 is 12. 18, which is 6. Well, I'm very glad to meet you, Dr. Hall.
Thank you. You live in Hollywood, Mr. Benny?
Beverly Hills. See, I live there because it's very expensive. There.
Well, I must say that seems an odd reason.
Oh, well, prestige, you know, and you can get far better prices there.
Prices? For what?
Oh, laundry, car wash, everything. You know.
That's very funny, Mr. Benny. Very funny indeed. I must remember that you are a comedian.
Yes. Yes, you must.
Ah, darling, this is my wife, Mr. Benny, Victoria, Mr. Jack Benny.
How do you do, Mrs. Hall?
I'm delighted to meet you, Mr. Benny, and so grateful. I can't tell you how kind you were to come here to Ivy.
Oh, it's nothing.
Oh, but it is.
Nothing?
No, it's a great deal. I still read my variety, and I know what prices are these days. I just read last week that Mr. Benny's salary at the Palladium in London...
Please, Mrs. Hall. You know how theatrical trade papers exaggerate, and when you figure the rate of exchange, it was nothing at all. I came back with nothing, really.
Nothing?
Why, it wouldn't even be a telephone bill for Dr. Hall. 18 months.
Vicky, we were talking about California. Mr. Benny lives in Beverly Hills.
Yes. I'm right next door to Ronald Coleman.
The who?
Ronald Coleman, the movie actor.
Oh, Toddy, you've heard of him.
Oh, yes, I remember. Yes, saw him in, let me see, A Tale of Two Cities. Overplayed it a bit, I thought.
Yes, I thought so.
Well, I just love him.
Oh, we're very close friends. You see, neighbors can be so close, don't you think?
Oh, yes. Yes, indeed. Oh, yes, one can learn and profit much from one's neighbor.
Yes. Can't one? Yes, indeed. Ronnie and Benita. That's Mr. Coleman's wife. Such nice people. See, we exchange Christmas cards every year.
Do you? I dearly love Christmas cards.
You do? Really?
Yes.
Well, they're sort of a hobby with me. I almost never go away without some. I think that somewhere, let me think. Oh, yes, of course, how silly of me. I always carry samples in my violin case.
Excuse me, Mr. Benny.
Oh, you go right ahead, Doc. Now, in this collection, Mrs. Hall, I have some beautiful snow scenes, and there's some churches. And, oh, yes, I do remember putting in a few of ivy-covered colors. It just occurred to me.
Dr. Hall speaking. Oh, yes, Professor. Well, I'm busy just now, but may I call you back? When? About 12 o'clock tonight, right after the show? All right, Professor. Goodbye.
Who was it, dear?
Professor Hornblower, darling, but he's going out and won't be back until quite late. I must talk to him and his wife about redecorating the Great Hall. Now, don't forget to remind me.
To do what?
To call them.
Call who?
The Hornblowers at midnight.
Of all the contrived... here's your bill, Doctor.
Bill, are you being paid in advance, Mr. Benny?
Well, so many people change their minds about Christmas cards.
Christmas cards?
Well, yes, dear. Mr. Benny just happened to have some that I absolutely loved, so
Of course, darling. I'm delighted. Particularly with the sacrifice Mr. Benny is making to be here. I'm glad you bought a few.
Well, thank you. Here's the bill.
Oh, let's see. Jack Benny, star of stage, screen, radio, and television. Christmas cards, $12 a hundred. 200 cards, $24. 200, Vicky. I'm glad I didn't talk on the phone any longer. All right, here is $25, Mr. Benny.
Thank you. Now, let's see. Where did I put my violin case? Oh, yeah. Here's $3 change. The extra $2 is for Mrs. Hall's theatrical discount.
Thank you. Thank you. Yours was not a misspent youth, Vicky.
Well, excuse me. I'll just see who that is.
This is the life of a college president, Mr. Benny, at the beck and call of bells. Never a moment you can call your own.
It's Mr. Wellman, dear.
Dr. Hall, I heard that Mr. Benny was here.
Yes, he is, Mr. Wellman. Mr. Benny, this is Mr. Clarence Wellman, chairman of our Board of Governors.
Hello, Clarence.
Mr. Benny, your advance man, Mr. Morton, has tied up every concession in this town. Tickets, the program, the parking, the car wash.
Popcorn.
Yes, popcorn. Concessions that are normally handled by our local group. This I consider most unethical. And in addition to this, he has submitted an expense account.
Well, this is quite proper. We expect to pay all Mr. Benny's expenses.
And another thing, Mr. Wellman, Mr. Benny has come a long distance to help our local charity, and without any fee. It was far more than we had any right to expect. If he has outwitted a local group in manipulating his extracurricular activities so that he emerges with a profit, well, I suggest that we appoint him the dean of our School of Economics. Now, is there anything else, Mr. Wellman?
No, Dr. Hall, there is not. And don't bother. I can find my way out.
Well, Mrs. Hall, I hope you're coming to the show tonight.
Oh, we wouldn't miss it for anything. And that student body of ours will be the greatest audience in the world. Well, I know. I've played to them.
Well, I better get out of here and get ready. Thanks very much, Dr. Hall. It's been a real pleasure meeting you both.
We'll see you right after the show, then.
Yes, you must let us take you to the airport.
No, I'm afraid Morton has a car waiting for me.
Oh.
Here's a little note I wrote you, Mrs. Hall. Don't open it until after the show.
Why, all right. Thank you.
And Dr. Hall, if you ever come to Beverly Hills, give me a ring, will you?
I would be delighted.
You know, somehow I feel just as if you were a neighbor of mine. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Wasn't the show absolutely wonderful?
It certainly was. And so was Jack Benny. I haven't laughed so much for years. Dickie, doesn't he play that violin abominably?
Oh, he does.
By the way, have you read his note yet?
His note? Oh, his note. I forgot it. I have it in my bag.
Well, read it, darling.
Dear Mrs. Hall, I saw you in London a long time ago and give them tears. When I found out it was you that wanted me to come, I couldn't wait. Isn't that charming? You gave me tears in London, so I hope I've given you a few laughs at Ivy. Incidentally, though I hate to admit it, I think your husband is terrific. My best always, Jack Benny. P.S. The enclosed check is the concession money I took from Mr. Wellman and his, quote, local group, unquote. Will you give it to the charity with my love and affection? Besides, I made an absolute killing in Christmas cards.
We'll be seeing you next week at this time at the Halls of Ivy, starring Mr. and Mrs. Ronald Coleman. Ken Carpenter speaking.
This is the United States Armed Forces Radio Service, the voice of information and education.
What a delight. From 73 years ago, November 22nd, 1950, Ronald and Benita Coleman, Jack Benny, The Halls of Ivy, here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Ann Sothern next as Maisie. But first...
Hello, everyone. This is Robert Merrill. In the American Cancer Society's vast effort to control cancer, there is one aspect that interests me particularly. This is the fellowship program for outstanding young doctors. Here are men who have devoted years to preparing themselves for their profession, college, medical school, interning, and perhaps more time as resident physicians. Many promising careers are open to them at this point, careers which will support their families comfortably. Yet, they accept American Cancer Society fellowships at $50 a week. Now, these dedicated young scientists are working for us. We owe it to ourselves to help them in this tremendous fight against man's cruelest enemy. We can and we must help this fellowship program as well as the other valuable endeavors of the American Cancer Society. Give generously. Mail your contribution today to Cancer, care of your local post office.
Wonderful, wonderful singer was Robert Merrill. Coming up tomorrow on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, NBC's Good News of 1940. Here come the Pilgrims, the Aldrich family and their Thanksgiving turkey, the couple next door with Thanksgiving dinner. We'll also have an episode, Thank You America, from KPO in Hawaii, and also Mutual's The Answer Man and their Thanksgiving show. That'll be coming up on our Thursday edition of the program. Right now, Ann Sothern with us, an episode of The Adventures of Maisie, recreating her character in the motion pictures. This episode from 72 years ago, November 22nd, 1951, The Efficiency Expert.
Hiya, babe. Say, how about a... Ow!
Does that answer your question, buddy?
The Adventures of Maisie, starring Ann Sothern. You all remember Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer's famous Maisie pictures. In just a moment, you'll hear Maisie in radio, starring the same glamorous star you all went to see and loved on the screen, Ann Sothern. But first, your announcer. Here's Ann Sothern as Maisie.
Yep, I'm Maisie, like the man said. Maisie Revere of Brooklyn. I've been in show business since I was a skinny little kid, and show business is why I look that way. But it's glamorous, exciting, wonderful, and unpredictable. Everything you can think of, but profitable. When I'm working at some other job outside of show business, I have an empty feeling in my stomach. But it's only a feeling because there's food in it. When I'm in show business, the feeling is on the level. The only trouble is, in other businesses, people get up in the morning, so I find it hard to get to work on time. I'm working now at Hemingway and Company for Mr. Hemingway, and this morning I'm coming in late again. Hi, Gloria.
Hello, Maisie. Boy, are things ever popping around here this morning.
What's the matter? Did Mr. Hemingway's head come unbolted?
And how, dear? He nearly chewed my arm off up to the elbow. And he's mad at you, too, because you aren't here yet.
Oh, well, I left a note last night saying I got here early this morning and was out getting a cup of coffee.
Well, this morning he opened the office up, and there was your note on his desk.
Uh-oh.
Uh-huh. How are you going to get out of that?
I'll tell him I'm a burglar.
Hi, Maisie.
Oh, hi, Sam.
Hi, Gloria. How's my ignorant little sweetheart?
Hello, lover boy.
Yeah, well, I wish they'd move one of you silly dames into the shipping room. There's too much pulchritude concentrated at these two desks.
Well, can I help it if I'm beautiful?
Well, I'll see you gals later. Say, let me know if Mr. Hemingway chops your head off, Maisie. Just remember, I'm the head of the Employees' Grievance Committee.
Yeah, and what you say doesn't mean a thing around here.
Mm-hmm. Well, I almost forgot. Pop Jenkins told Mr. Hemingway that you'd already been here this morning when he took him up in the elevator.
Oh, gee. I hope he doesn't get in a jam on account of me. He's a swell old guy.
Yeah. Well, bye, girls.
Bye.
So long, honey.
So long, sweet and stupid.
Gee, Sam's a swell guy, isn't he?
Yeah, he's nice. He's sure crazy about you.
Well, he ought to be. I'm nice, too.
Miss Revere, come in here!
Oh! Coming, Captain Bligh. Oh, well, good morning, Mr. Hemingway.
Yes, good morning, Miss Revere. I hope you slept well this morning.
Well, didn't you hear about me being here early today?
Yes, from all your friends. I'm sure the work isn't so tiring here that you have to come dragging in at 10 o'clock.
Well, it was only 1:15.
Aha, I trapped you. Now listen here, Miss Revere. There are 3 letters I'm looking for, and nobody can find them in our files.
Well, what letters are they?
They're all from the Kettle, Fitzquilliam, and Potts Engineering Associates.
Oh, well, those must have been filed by Shirley, the girl who was here before me. She always filed by the last name.
I already looked under Potts. They're not there.
Oh, well, here they are, Mr. Hemingway.
Where did you find them? Under engineering?
Certainly not. Under associates. Where else?
You mean all the letters we have from companies ending in associates are filed together?
Well, how would you file those letters?
Well, how should I know? That's not my job.
Well, then you ought to get an efficiency expert or somebody who does know. By the way, Mr. Hemingway, what is your job here?
I am the president of this company.
Well, yeah, I know, but you don't do anything. I mean, it seems to me all you do is make chains of paper clips and play with rubber bands and sit in your swivel chair and swiv.
Miss Revere, the president has a lot of decisions to make.
Name a decision.
Well, I'm making a decision right now, and I don't think everybody's going to like it.
Oh?
Notify the entire office force that we'll hold the regular monthly employees meeting in 15 minutes.
Yes, Mr. Hemingway.
Tell them they can start trembling right now.
Yes, sir.
And incidentally, Miss Revere, you seem to have trouble hearing when I buzz for you.
Oh, well, you know how it is, Mr. Hemingway. Sometimes I'm up powdering my nose or getting a candy bar or chatting by the water cooler.
Yes. Miss Revere, I believe you said you worked as a car hop at a drive-in restaurant, didn't you?
Oh, yeah, I did.
This is your new buzzer.
Oh.
What's he up to, Maisie?
I haven't any idea, Gloria, except that it must be something awful.
Oh?
I heard him laughing in his office.
Well, kiddies, who's he going to put in the pot this time?
Maisie says she doesn't know.
Stay quiet, please. Stay quiet. Oh, shut up.
Oh.
Employees of the Hemingway Company and fellow workers. I want to announce that the $10 prize for the best suggestion of the month goes to Maisie Revere.
Who, me? Oh.
Yeah, that's enough. That's enough. And wait till you hear what it is. Miss Revere pointed out that our happy little office is run very sloppily and suggested that I hire an efficiency expert to come in and look you all over.
Oh, but Mr. Hemingway,
Quiet. I have taken Miss Revere's suggestion, and a man will soon be here watching every move everybody in this office makes.
Oh.
I told him to chop out the dead wood, to let the heads fall where they may, no matter how long a person has been around here. I'm going to have an efficient office if I have to get rid of everybody. Thank you for the suggestion, Miss Revere. And here is your $10.
Oh, Mr. Hemingway, I really didn't mean
You
it.
certainly did, and you deserve this. That is all, fellow workers. And so until next month's meeting, when there may not be as many happy faces here, farewell. Or should I say goodbye?
Congratulations, Maisie. I hope you and your $10 will be very happy.
Now, wait a minute, Gloria. I didn't do anything.
No, you just betrayed us, that's all.
And after the way I lied for you this morning, too, the efficiency expert will fire me. I know he will. I do the best I can, but I can't help it if I forget to stop the elevator at the top once in a while.
Well, gee, I'm sorry, Pop.
Oh, this is terrible. You get fired for the least little thing.
Gloria? Sam? You know I'm innocent. You know I'm not the crumb pipe.
I don't wish to converse it any further.
Will you go back to work, sweetie Pooh? I'll talk to Maisie. Go on, everybody, get back to work, will you?
I don't think it was fair at all.
Well, Maisie, you did a great job. Anybody else could only get 2 or 3 people in trouble, but you've got talent.
Oh.
You put the whole office in the stew pot.
Oh, leave me alone. I didn't do it on purpose.
Poor old Pop. You practically fired him, and he isn't the greatest elevator operator in the world, but he's a sweet old guy. And he needs that job, Maisie.
Yeah, he doesn't get very much either. A little salary and his commission from the numbers game, the baseball, football, and basketball pools, and his cut from the bookie he takes bets for.
Poor old Pop.
But, gee, Sam, maybe the efficiency expert won't fire him.
Why, of course he'll fire him. He'd be a jerk if he didn't.
Yeah, the sweet old guy's the worst elevator operator in town. Pop'll never get a job anywhere else.
That's just it. No one else but Hemingway and Company would be stupid enough to have him.
Oh, I've ruined his whole life. Oh, Sam, I hate myself.
Oh, Maisie, I hate you, too.
Oh, sure enough. No belt or suspenders. What could be more efficient than buttoning your pants to your coat? Well, I'll handle it.
What are you going to do?
Well, he hasn't seen Mr. Hemingway yet. I'm going to offer him the $10 prize money plus another $10 of my own if he'll go away and stay away.
Oh, well, here, Maisie. I'll kick in $10 too.
Oh, no, I couldn't take it, Gloria.
No, go on, please, Maisie. I want to do it to help Pop.
Well, okay, Gloria. Well, here goes. If he's efficient, he'll take the $30.
Yeah.
Hello. Welcome to Hemingway and Company.
What am I supposed to do now? Make a speech?
No, I just wanted to tell you we're glad to have you here, and we hope you enjoy your stay with us.
Hooray.
You're very efficient. You don't waste any words, do you?
No. Hey, you're quite a dish, aren't you?
Yeah, I don't waste any words either.
Hey, what are you doing tonight, baby?
I'm avoiding you. I came over to ask you how much you make an hour.
Oh, it depends on what I'm doing.
Well, how would you like to make $60 an hour for a half an hour?
What do I have to do?
Just get lost. Get out of here and don't come back.
Yeah, but
now, here's the $30. Now, just go out that door and disappear. I don't want to see you again.
Yeah, but...
Go on, take your motorboat and go.
But...
And incidentally, in case you hadn't noticed...
But...
Your mouth is open.
Yeah, goodbye.
Well, the office can relax now.
Good work, Maisie.
He's gone and he won't be back.
Oh, it's worth it.
Say, have you seen a guy around here?
Oh, wearing his pants buttoned to his coat?
Yeah, where is he now?
Well, that was the efficiency expert, and we got him to leave.
Hey, you're crazy. That was the guy who was going to pay me $20 he owed me.
Maisie.
Oh, no.
The Adventures of Maisie, starring Ann Sothern, will continue in just a moment. To Maisie.
This has got to be the man, Gloria. He's been in Mr. Hemingway's office for 15 minutes already.
What did he look like?
Well, he's wearing horn-rimmed glasses with lenses that look like they came out of a flashlight.
No.
He's sort of handsome in an innocent way, and he's got an Adam's apple big enough to bake.
Sounds sort of cute.
Well, I'm going to do my best to completely snafu that guy. Darn that horn. Well, I guess I get to meet the guy now.
Don't do anything I wouldn't do.
Well, please, Gloria, don't limit me. This is catch as catch can and no holds barred.
Ah, Miss Revere. Allow me to present our efficiency expert, Mr. Herbert Prink.
Oh, hello, Mr. Prink. Welcome to Hemingway and Company.
Oh, my goodness. I mean, how are you?
Well, since you asked, Mr. Prink, I'm over 21, healthy, and unmarried.
Oh, my goodness, yes. I can see you're just bursting with health.
Well, not all of it's health.
Mr. Prink, those are rather heavy lenses in your glasses. Perhaps they over-magnify Miss Revere's glamour.
Perhaps so. Pardon me, but have either of you noticed that it's become rather warm in this room?
We'll go over some of Mr. Prink's preliminary suggestions.
Oh, yes, I have them written down right here.
One?
Yeah. There are 14 typewriters in the office, only 6 in use at a time. Get rid of 8 typewriters.
Oh.
Yes, 8 typewriters.
Yes.
2.
The same tray can be used for outgoing and incoming mail. Incoming mail will be turned sideways.
Sideways? Brain work, that's what it is. Real brain work. 3.
Too much time is lost walking down the hall to the candy, soft drink, and cigarette machines. They will be put in the office.
4. Oh, never mind, Prink. Miss Revere, please copy these preliminary recommendations. What do you think of them?
Well, 5, they're very interesting. And 6, I suggest they be carried out immediately. And 7, I suggest that Mr. Prink take me out to lunch so I can tell him anything he wants to know about the office force.
I brought my own lunch, Miss Revere. It's much cheaper and much more efficient.
Oh.
I'd be delighted to share it with you, though.
Well, thank you.
Any more suggestions, Miss Revere?
Yes, 8. I suggest you hire a dog catcher with a net to scoop up the people who are going to go nuts around here before this thing is over. Well, shall we have lunch here on my desk, or would it be cozier in the mimeograph room?
I think I feel safer. That is, I feel better out here in the open.
Oh, well, suit yourself. Tell me, how are you finding the employees' work?
Oh, very inefficient, Miss Revere. And that elevator operator.
Oh, Pop's a sweet old guy. What's wrong with him?
One, he doesn't know how to run the elevator.
Well, he's only been at it 17 years.
Besides, he threatened me. When I admitted I was the efficiency expert, he said, "Remember, you've got to come back down with me again."
Well, you're not very efficient, or you would have brought a parachute. Mr. Prink,
Huh?
did anybody ever tell you you were a handsome man?
Well, yeah, once in college, but she was an exceedingly unattractive girl and a sociology major. Will you have a ham and turkey sandwich with Russian dressing?
Oh, thank you. Let me see what you look like without your glasses. There.
No, don't. Give them back to me. I can't see a thing without them. Where are you?
Right here in front of you. Just put your arms out and walk forward. You lucky boy.
Uh-huh. All right. In this direction?
Mr. Prink,
Huh?
if you walk any closer, you'll be behind me. My goodness, I'm surprised at you. Putting your arms around a strange girl in broad daylight.
Miss Revere, you let go of me. You're making me feel ticklish all over. Now stop it.
Well, all right, Herbert, there. Now, do you feel better now?
I know I'm running a temperature. Where's my sandwich? Where are my glasses?
Well, here's your sandwich.
Yes.
Don't you even like me a little bit, Mr. Prink?
Yes, it's just that you're so distracting.
Hello, Maisie.
Yes.
Oh, hello, Gloria. Gloria Groucho, may I present Herbert Prink?
Hello, dream boy.
Hello. Where are you?
Right here in your arms.
Oh, no, not another one.
Well, congratulations, Mr. Prink. You're being discovered by the opposite sex.
Oh, Herbert. Oh, you're wonderful.
I don't even know you.
Well, take my word for it. She's no sociology major.
Hey, what's going on here?
Uh-oh. Quick, Herbert, put on your glasses.
Say, Gloria, in view of the fact that you are slightly engaged to me, I feel that I deserve the courtesy of some kind of an explanation, even if it's only a lie.
Well, darling.
Your glasses are on upside down, Herbert.
Oh, thank you. I wondered why everybody was standing on his head.
Say, I'll see you about this later, Prink.
Huh?
Don't like anybody stealing my girl in such plain sight. It reflects on my character.
Well, I don't care. I'm going to kiss him before I go out to lunch. Here, Herbert.
Oh, no, please don't.
There, you wonderful man.
Oh, boy.
Next.
Goodbye, Herbert.
No, really, Miss Revere, I can't.
There. Next.
I pass. Hey, look at Herbert. He's keeling over.
Well, I've had compliments before, but that's the best yet.
Hello?
It's me, Gloria. Is everybody doing the things that Herbert recommended? And did Sam put those vending machines right next to Mr. Hemingway's office?
Yeah, it's all done, Maisie.
Ah, well, what's our expert doing now?
What was he doing when you saw him last?
Sort of wandering around the office with a happy smile on his face and a glazed look in his eyes.
Well, that's our boy. He's still on cloud 9.
Ah, well, I'll give him one more treatment. Tell him he's wanted on the phone, but don't say it's me.
Okay. Herbert! Phone, darling.
Oh, brother, I can't wait to read his report.
It's some woman.
Hello?
I say, are you there, dear boy?
Yes, I'm here all right.
Now, I know this is frightfully rude of me, but I chanced to be looking into the office from across the street when you were kissing those secretaries. That was a bit of all right, don't you know? You were awfully charming about it, really were.
Well, who is this?
I am Lady Cathcart Rubblesworth de Quincy, but you may call me Fanny. You wouldn't be feeling playful around cocktail time, would you?
Dear goodness, my mother never told me there'd be days like this. I really can't talk to you now. I'm busy.
Do keep thinking of me. There's a good chap. And I'm sure we'll dash into each other somewhere. Toodaloo. Well, if that guy gets up and makes a good solid report, I'm going to turn in my resignation as a woman.
All right, Mr. Brink, let's have the report. Hey, Mr. Brink. Brink.
Oh, excuse me. Well, Mr. Hemingway, I have surveyed the situation here, and I believe that it would be possible to make a good many efficiency-improving changes.
Mr. Brink, excuse me for interrupting. I don't mind your looking at me, but please focus your eyes.
Oh.
Don't roll them back every time you look at Miss Revere, either. It's very disconcerting.
And Mr. Hemingway doesn't like to be disconcerted, do you, Mr. Hemingway?
No, I do.
Hey, look at the size of these candy bars. It's a holdup.
What in the name of heaven was that?
Well, that was the candy bar machine, Mr. Hemingway. Herbert says it's lots more efficient there.
Well, I don't want it there. Take it back where it was.
But it's not efficient there, Mr. Hemingway.
Take that candy machine back down the hall.
But, Mr. Hemingway...
That is all. Now, back to your report, man. Where was he, Maisie?
In Dreamland.
No, you know what I mean.
Oh, yes. Probable to make a got many something improving charges.
Oh, no, that's all wrong.
Herbert, dear, I only take shorthand. I don't read it.
Hey, Miss Revere, don't cross your legs again, or Mr. Brink is going to keel right over.
Yes, sir. How about that, Herbert?
Oh, get on with the report, man. Get on with it. What's going on out there?
Well, that's the soft drink machine, Mr. Hemingway. It's more efficient there, and besides, you can tell whenever somebody's getting a drink.
Get that machine out of here.
Now, Mr. Hemingway, a man gets thirsty running up and down on that elevator.
I want it back down the hall tomorrow. Now get back and keep piloting your elevator.
Okay.
Yes. All right, Brink, up to it.
Now say everything slowly and distinctly, and think of me, Herbert.
Oh, come in, darn it.
Mr. Hemingway, I have bad news. You know, we're using only one tray for incoming and outgoing mail.
Yes, what happened?
The office boy took all the incoming mail and mailed it out again by mistake.
Oh, no.
Had the incoming mail been turned sideways?
Oh, yes, I'm sure of it.
Well, we had a lot of square mail today, and square letters don't have any sideways.
Go back to the old system.
Oh, thank you. Goodbye, Herbert.
Well, say something, Brink.
Gloria's pretty, isn't she?
Let me see those notes you've got there, Brink. This is the only way we'll ever get through.
Oh, yes, sir.
It's my personal opinion you're about as efficient as an ox cart with a flat wheel. 1, no good. 2, won't work. 3, 4, 5, no.
Gee, is he striking out that fast? Aren't there even any foul balls?
No. What's this here? Sic transit gloria, wow.
Nothing, just an observation.
Who did you find was the least efficient person here?
Me. And next comes you.
Me? Brink, I don't agree with a single recommendation you've made here. Not one. Wait a minute. I take that back. Just one.
What's that?
He mentioned somebody who's a disturbing influence here.
Oh, who's that?
You.
Oh, no.
Miss Revere, this is one recommendation I'm taking. You're fired.
Well, if you feel that way, I resign.
Maisie, how is everything in there?
Well, I'm fired. But at least we're saving poor old Pop from getting fired and going to the poorhouse.
Hey, girls. Girls, there's a guy by the name of Pop Jenkins work here. I understand he does a little bookmaking and so forth.
Yeah. Who are you?
I'm from the Bureau of Internal Revenue. Last year, Pop Jenkins banked $32,000 from his pools and bookie business and didn't pay any tax.
Holy smoke. I guess poor old Pop we knocked ourselves out for was the richest man here.
Well, don't worry, Gloria. When this guy gets through with him, he'll be poor old Pop again.
In just a moment, we shall return to the Adventures of Maisie. Once again, here's Maisie.
Well, that was a nice job. And for a change, the only advances my boss made were in my salary. Hemingway and Company went back to running just the way it had before I came along. Except that Herbert Prink has given Sam a lot of competition for Gloria. A funny thing happened the day I left. The guy I gave the $30 to came back and returned the money. He couldn't figure out why I paid him that much to get out and stay out. And it preyed on his mind and worried him till he had to come back and find out. Well, what would you think? Well, you'd never believe what I'm doing now. I'm going to a psychiatrist every day. Think I'm having my head examined? No, he's having his. I'm giving him scalp treatments, and you can call me Hair Dr. Revere. Come on, Pete, let's get going. He's late for the appointment, yeah?
You have just heard The Adventures of Maisie, starring Ann Sothern. Maisie was written by John L. Green. Original music was composed and conducted by Harry Zimmerman. Supporting cast included Frank Nelson, Hans Conried, Lorene Tuttle, Sheldon Leonard, Earl Lee, and Sidney Miller. John Heaston speaking.
72 years ago, November 22nd, 1951, Ann Sothern in The Adventures of Maisie here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. We'll head to Wistful Vista in just a moment. First,
Dear Ralph, I am writing to tell you that I have reached a decision about what we should do.
Dear Mom, our platoon was on bivouac last week, so this is my first chance to write.
Dear Eddie, thanks for inviting me to your party. I had a very good time, and
The letters we write are so important to us and to the people who are waiting for them. So when you write, take the extra 3 seconds required to add zip code to the mailing address. Zip code helps improve mail service, helps our postal workers to sort mail faster and deliver it by more direct routes. That's why zip belongs on every mailing address, and on your return address, too, so others can easily zip their mail to you. Help improve mail service by using zip code. It will bring you a little bit closer to everyone you know.
back in 1957, 67, I should say, that was how the Post Service was trying to increase the use of the brand new zip code. Alrighty, Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Let's head to Wistful Vista. 68 years ago, November 22nd, 1955, Fibber McGee and Molly, and McGee's confused.
Miles Laboratories, makers of Alka-Seltzer, bring you another visit with Fibber, McGee, and Molly. Again, we invite you to listen to the transcribed adventures of Fibber, McGee, and Molly. The show is written by Phil Leslie and directed by Max Hutto. We'll see what's going on in Wistful Vista shortly.
This is Eleanor Engel. Most of us like to have fun, I'm sure, and we all know that fun is good for us. But how about you? Do you always feel up to enjoying your fun? There may be times when you don't feel good, from a headache, perhaps, or an upset stomach, or just from general achiness. Well, believe me, that's the time when Alka-Seltzer can be a real friend in need. Drop 1 or 2 Alka-Seltzer tablets into a glass of water, like this. Listen to it fizz. Then drink it. This action in the glass changes Alka-Seltzer tablets into a relief-giving liquid. This is the form your system can use most easily and naturally for relief. Action in the glass supercharges Alka-Seltzer with lively bubbles, and this soothing liquid speeds relief. Action in the glass makes Alka-Seltzer easy to absorb immediately. You'll like Alka-Seltzer for refreshing relief. That's speedy Alka-Seltzer, the favorite of so many, for relief that does so much.
An interesting and rather lengthy dissertation is underway this morning at 79 Wistful Vista. The subject, politics. The speaker, Mr. McGee of Fibber, McGee and Molly.
Free postage stamps every Friday and a guaranteed annual wage for everybody, whether they had a job or not. That's the kind of things I'd do, Wimp, if I was in charge in Washington.
My goodness. You certainly have some very original ideas there, Mr. McGee.
Oh, he thinks them up, Mr. Wimple.
Well, they show a lot of thought, believe me. Like the one about eliminating all taxes and just letting people mail in a check every month for whatever they think the government is worth to them. That's a dandy idea.
You betcha.
It sure would cut down the money there in Washington, though, wouldn't it? I'd hate to have to live on what I think our senator is worth to me.
And that's just the point, Wimp. I'll admit things would be a little confused for a while, but as soon as them Washington guys found out they had to give the people good service or they wouldn't get paid, it'd pick up, boy, it'd pick up.
I'd even vote for that one myself.
Well, it's been very interesting talking to you, Mr. McGee. And listening to you is rather interesting, too. But I'd better trot along now, I guess.
Oh, don't rush off, Wimp, don't rush off. What's the paper in your coat pocket there? That the Gazette?
From last week, yes. An extra copy I picked up. There's an article in it that's, well, it's about me.
Oh, really?
How come? You get arrested or something?
No, well, as you know, I'm hospitality chairman of the Wistful Vista Bird Watchers, nest number 2.
Oh, we know. Yes, you're just about the best friend the birds have around here.
Thank you. I do try. Anyhow, I presented a petition to the city council asking them to provide feeding trays in the park with hot food for our little feathered pals this winter.
Well, bully for you, boy.
I don't know whether we'll win or lose on this petition of ours, but that city council knows which side I'm on, believe me. See there?
Well, will you look at that, McGee? Mr. Wimple's picture.
Hey, that's swell, boy. Yeah, it says, City Council convinced that Wimple is strictly for the birds.
And I am, too. First, last, and always. Goodbye now.
Bye.
Well, now, let me see. What the heck was I doing when Wimp stopped by? You remember?
Yeah, you were sitting right there, staring off into space.
Oh, yeah. I was trying to think what it was that I intended to do today.
What was it?
I can't seem to remember. I made a mental note yesterday that there was something I wanted to do today, but I can't think what the heck it was.
Maybe you were going to fix the leg on the card table. That's been broken 1.5 years.
No, I don't think that was it.
Fix the leak in the garage roof? Straighten up the hall closet? Shave?
No, don't seem like it was any of those.
Well, I better get back to the kitchen. Lunch will be ready in a minute. Let me know how you come out.
Okay, Tootsie. I'll just sit down in here and think. It'll come to me sooner or later. I'll just relax and think real hard. It'll come to me. Come in.
Hi, Mr.
Seltzer. Hi.
Oh, hello there, Teeny. Come in.
Hey, mister, I can't stay but a minute on account of I have to get right home for dinner.
Good, good.
But I came to show you a magic trick. It's a wonderful trick. I saw a man do it on a corner yesterday, and I've been practicing, and boy, oh boy, you'll like this, I betcha.
Magic, huh? Well, what kind of a trick, sis? Cards? Pulling rabbits out of a hat?
No. It's a coin trick.
Oh, coin.
I can make a coin disappear right before your very eyes while you're looking right at it. It'll disappear.
Yeah?
Here, let me have a coin and I'll show you. You got a coin?
Oh, I think so. Yeah. What do you want, quarter?
That'll do, sure. Now watch closely, ladies and gentlemen, and I shall make this coin disappear right before your very eyes.
Okay, I'm watching.
All right. Now I merely take the coin in my hand like this, and I'll place it here like this.
In your pocket. Yeah?
Can you see it?
No, I can't see it. It's down in your pocket there.
That's what I say. It'll disappear right before your very eyes, and it did disappear right before your very eyes. That concludes today's performance. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and so long, Mr. McGee.
Yeah, but hey, wait a minute.
McGee, lunch is ready.
Okay. That Teeny sure is a sharp little Dickens. I ought to show that kid just how much I appreciate her one of these days. A couple of belts across the seat with a small barrel stave would be the right way to express it, too. But that's not reminding myself of what I was going to do today, if I could just
In just a moment, we'll try to straighten out the McGees.
Say, Eleanor Engel, what's this I hear about Alka-Seltzer?
Well, whatever you heard, my friend, it must have been good.
Oh, it was that, all right. But I've always been under the impression Alka-Seltzer was the thing to take for an upset stomach. Now, earlier I heard you talking about headaches.
Well, that's because Alka-Seltzer happens to be the thing to take for either or both of these discomforts. You see, Alka-Seltzer is also a very effective and dependable pain reliever. What's more, it's a pain reliever that's in liquid form when you take it. So your system absorbs it naturally and easily. And those thousands of tiny, sparkling bubbles in Alka-Seltzer help to speed relief, whether you have a headache or neuralgia or
an aching shoulder muscle?
Or an aching shoulder muscle. Get a package at your drug counter soon, won't you, and keep it on hand. Alka-Seltzer. First aid relief for headache and other aches and pains, as well as indigestion.
Were you going to write a letter, maybe?
Who to?
I don't know. Pay some bills, maybe?
What with?
Borrow some money, maybe?
Who from?
You have got a problem, my boy. Well, you just sit there and think about it, dearie. I've got to get out to the kitchen and get dinner started.
Okay, Tootsie. Dinner. My gosh, seems like we just got through eating lunch. Boy, time sure does fly when you're just sitting thinking all day. 5 o'clock already, and I still don't know what it was I was going to do. It's what, Molly? 10 o'clock already?
5 after 10.
Well, isn't this just ridiculous? All day long I've been sitting here in this chair racking my brains, and where's it got me? No place.
Well, forget it. If it was anything important to be done around the house, I've already done it by now, anyhow.
It's just so dad-ratted annoying to have a memory full of holes like that. Next time I make a mental note to remember something, I'll write it down. Because the worst way for me to remember anything is with my head. I don't know
Now, who is this at this hour? Come in.
Hello there, kids. Hi, daughter. Hi, Johnny.
Well, Mr. Oldtimer, you're out late tonight.
Yeah, don't you know there's a curfew in this town, boy? You kids have to be off the streets by 10 o'clock, you know.
Yep. Just coming home from a date, kids. Me and my girlfriend, Bessie.
Oh, how is Bessie these days, anyhow?
Just fine, daughter. Healthy as a Hereford heifer and just about that size. Got fired from her job yesterday, though. Too much horseplay, they said.
Horseplay, huh? Where was she working? Racing stable?
No, she had herself a good job at the airplane factory, son. Making airplanes for the Air Force.
Oh.
But she just wouldn't quit clowning around. Always playing jokes.
Yeah?
Anything for a laugh, Bessie, the fellers called her at the plant.
Just a playgirl, eh?
Yep. They were pretty patient with her, too, though, I gotta admit. Boys didn't get sore the time she unpacked all their parachutes and put cottage cheese in there instead. They just chuckled.
My goodness.
And nobody said much the time she unscrewed all the propellers and put 'em on backwards, so the airplanes all took on instead of taking off.
Oh, my gosh.
But last week, Bessie overdone it.
Yeah?
Slipped out onto the field with a great big cork about 3 foot around, and when nobody was looking, she plugged up the tailpipe on the General's jet. That done it.
Boy, I should think so. Jiminy, she better level off, boy, before she gets in trouble.
Well, she's got herself a nice new job, kids, and getting along just fine. White-collar job, too.
Good for her. Where does she work?
Down at the laundry. Starches the white collars. Well, I gotta get along home to bed, kids. Working man, you know. Gotta get my rest.
Yeah, your rest. Well, so long.
Good night.
So long, kids.
Well, at last, I finally remembered, Molly. Boy, oh boy, that's a load off my mind. Did you hear what the old-timer said about getting his rest? That was it.
That was what?
That was what I was going to do today that I've been trying all day to remember.
Huh?
Been so doggone busy the last couple of weeks that I made up my mind last night not to do a doggone thing today, but just sit right here in this house and rest. All day.
Oh, fine.
And by gosh, when the time come, I couldn't remember to do it. Oh, well. I can do it tomorrow. I'll get up early and start right after breakfast. Just sit right here in this living room and rest. All day.
Yes, you need it. And go to bed now so you can get an early start. Oh, if this isn't the silly...
Fibber and Molly have a final word for you to come.
Mother, you feed your youngsters 3 good meals a day, and maybe you think that will automatically give them enough vitamins to help them keep peppy and alert. But remember, there is some loss of vitamins in cooking, storing, and processing of food. So be on the safe side. Give your family 1-a-day brand multiple vitamin tablets every day. They supply all the vitamins children and adults normally need to take. And children take them willingly, too, because 1-a-day brand multiple vitamins are easy-to-swallow tablets that leave no aftertaste. Low-cost 1-a-day brand multiple vitamins also include vitamin B12. Get 1-a-day brand multiple vitamin tablets.
Lock up good, Molly, before we come up to bed. Did you turn out all the lights out the front porch, too? Did you turn them out?
Yes, McGee. Now go to sleep. I'm tired.
Okay. Funny, though, I'm not very sleepy.
Rest, then. Just rest.
Hey, I read an interesting item in the Gazette this afternoon about taking surveys. It said that according to an impartial survey conducted by the Impartial Survey Bureau, that 3 out of 5 families don't pay any attention to impartial surveys at all. Ain't that interesting?
Go to sleep.
Oh, okay. Good night.
Bye, everybody. See you tomorrow.
Fibber, McGee, and Molly, transcribed, is brought to you Mondays through Fridays at this time by Miles Laboratories, makers of Alka-Seltzer. The Old-Timer and Wallace Whipple are played by Bill Thompson. This is John Wald inviting you back tomorrow for another visit with Fibber, McGee, and Molly.
How could Fibber possibly forget to loaf? From 68 years ago, November 22nd, 1955, Fibber, McGee, and Molly here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. I hope the voice clears up some more so that we're back to our normal dulcet tones in the next few days. Have yourself a great day, and classicradiotheater.stream is our webpage. Thank you, Robert. Thanks to all of you who have sent us a Buy Me a Coffee Fund contribution. Greatly appreciated. Helps me get everything taken care of, and I hope I can take care of this voice a little better. But we'll be back on Thursday, Thanksgiving Day, with an extra special Thanksgiving show here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox.